This is the latest disclosure in a report from National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington. It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life.
Welcome to Dead Radio.
We're not doing that.
How did she come to have sex with a dead man?
Don't call me Radio Unit 91.
You're a dead man. You're a dead man!
He's God here in this radio station.
Place where the dead speak.
Rebel Radio!
I'm a fake? Yes. How'd you like to be dead?
You ever think about doing radio?
My team is dead!
But you're not crazy. You're me. And this is just radio.
By the powers vested in me by the Federal Communications Commission, I command you to get on the microphone in a serious manner and continue this broadcast.
All right. And away we go. Hi. Hi, everyone.
Sometimes
Hi.
I like to not say anything just to see what you'll do.
One day we'll open the show properly, but today is not that day.
Give him just enough rope to hang himself.
Yeah, I just sometimes I'll just stare at him and he'll start talking.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 163. The HV Creator Fest Postmortem. And also with Toni O from Knitting is Metal.
Hello.
And Mac from Mac Makes Rings.
What's up, guys?
Those are, all Instagram, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
At Knitting is Metal and at Mac Makes Rings.
Yeah.
So you guys have been on the show before.
Yes.
Any loyal listeners know that.
In
This is
several
your
different capacities.
This is your third, right?
My
Third,
third time.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a kind of a big thing. Like, there's not many
Right.
people who've done 3 shows. Ryan O'Sullivan.
Amy doesn't count.
I mean, our friends. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys are our friends, but I mean,
But you're our friends now.
Yeah.
you guys
true.
are our
Right, yeah.
You weren't
friends,
our
but you
friends.
also have projects.
Actually, we're
that
not.
You,
We're not. We
Right.
need to be. We need to hang out outside of the
We
show.
do.
Yeah,
It's-
actually.
Well-
'Cause we've never. So we're professional acquaintances.
Yes.
Right.
I'll take
That's
that.
what- yeah.
It's one of those things where you
Yeah.
know, like, damn, those are cool people and we should hang out more.
Yeah.
And then adult happens,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
real life happens.
Oh,
and it's just
yeah.
like,
We're friends
fuck
on
yeah.
Facebook. We
Yeah.
like each other's things, but
Like-
Technically, we drank a beer together like 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah, there's
once
that.
in passing.
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. Like a
Came
that's
over
probably
song.
happened a couple of times. But
Yeah, I think so.
It gets ugly.
It's
This
like-
this adulting thing.
Yeah, should I
I'm
call
not good at
them
it.
or should I watch The Office for the 20th
Yeah.
time, you know, front to back?
I am only my fourth time through. So I
Right.
just
So-
like I gotta.
Like-
Michael Scott's about to leave again, so
Yeah,
I gotta be prepared to get real sad for a minute. Yeah, you just
I
can't
listen
have-
to a lot of true crime, and I've heard these stories where, like, if somebody hears the same song over and over again, it can drive them to kill. And I hear the fucking theme song to The Office every
put
night
it
of
on
my life.
just to
Yeah.
piss her off.
It's Seinfeld for Brooke.
Just to piss her off. Because at this point, I know every part of the show. It's just like the radio for me. I fold laundry to it. I play with the puppy with it. You know,
it's
I don't
death
have to.
for you.
And Toni is going to kill me one day because of that.
Well, Amy's such a light sleeper that I have to, if I want to like stay up past 9:45, I have to like put subtitles on and have the TV on like 1. And then still sometimes she goes, "Can you turn that down?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, this show's just slightly louder. I'm not watching it with no volume."
Yeah. She's pretty good. I've been if I've got something too loud, she's just like, could you lower that, baby? She's so docile when she's half asleep.
When
It's
I'm asleep or
fantastic.
I'm like a little kitten.
Little column A.
Yeah.
Just like a docile kitten. And then, that's how she always is.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
And then it stays the same
Exactly.
all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So we this is it's perfect to have you guys on after Creator Fest because for those who don't know, Toni did a was it Indiegogo?
Yes.
An Indiegogo fundraiser.
Indiegogo, not Indiegogo.
Yeah,
The
I'm thinking
Indiegogo
Indigo
girls.
Girls. Yeah, Indiegogo girl.
Yeah,
the Indiegogo
because-
girls.
Because you're a fucking weirdo. You're questionable.
But I don't think the Indigo Girls would be into go-go dancing.
I don't want
Probably
them to be.
not. I mean,
but it'd be interesting.
what? Okay,
It's an
first
interesting thought.
potential title
wow,
is
that was quick.
Indigo Girls Go-Go Dancing.
No, Indiegogo Girls.
Indiegogo Girls.
Yeah, I like that.
But
And we're
yeah,
off.
an Indiegogo fundraiser. It was incredibly unique and made me laugh and laugh and laugh and
It's
laugh
such a
every
good
time I
idea.
saw it. For every $1 that was donated to the cause, Toni is going to subject. I'm using subject in this properly this time. Subject herself to 1 minute of the album Saint Anger by Metallica, which
It's widely accepted as the worst metal album ever.
Yeah.
Worst metal album, a perfect storm of mistakes.
Yes.
Yeah.
From one of the best metal bands out there.
So what's going to happen is we're going to talk a little bit. Toni's going to check out and listen to the show while she knits
A dick hat for Bosch.
hopefully a dick hat for me.
You never let it go. I was thinking about that on my drive over.
Where am I going to find a template for that?
I've been trying to design it and shit. It's all wrong.
Needs a lot of stuffing to
Yeah.
stay turgid.
Turgid. That's a good word.
That's a good
Good
word,
word.
turgid. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I win sometimes. So we're gonna do that, and then I guess a good precursor to that whole thing is to talk about Saint Anger, and for those who don't know why Saint Anger is so fucking bad.
Yeah.
For those who aren't Metallica fans, Metallica had a string of amazing albums, including the Black Album, as popular as it is and as poppy as it
Still a
can
good
be.
album.
It's still a fantastic album. I still like listening, The God That Failed and Of Wolf and Man. Like, that shit
A
comes on
solid
and I freak
submission.
out.
It was a solid submission.
To be honest, I've never been a fan, but I always had respect for them as a band. And then I heard some of that shit.
Then they came out with Load, and everybody was scratching their heads.
That was the one.
But
Yep.
then but everybody at the same time was like, well, they're getting older, music's changing.
We'll give them a pass on this
We'll
one.
figure it out. Then Reload came out, and everybody's like, well, it's all
Yeah.
leftover shit
Yeah.
from Load.
But that's
so...
like it's throwing good after bad. Stop wasting your time and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Then the darkness.
The dark
came.
times.
The
The
dark times.
The dark times. Yeah.
I just feel like I'm sitting by a burn barrel.
Yeah.
Telling the story of the downfall of Metallica while
Yeah.
Ash just reigns
Yes.
behind me.
Post-apocalyptic. You're fucking eating someone's boots.
Now and again called the midlife crisis of Metallica.
I remember.
I don't even know if they did anything after that. Like, gun to my head, I could
Oh,
have
no.
been like,
They
did they
did.
do anything
They
after
have-
that?
They did, Death
Yeah.
Magnetic,
Well,
which has its own issues.
Well,
Never
they-
heard of it.
Well,
Lulu is a piece of shit.
Never heard of it.
That's the album they did with Lou Reed.
Oh my god!
Oh,
I
it's-
can't even
Yeah.
imagine how bad that is.
Oh, it's fucking
Yeah.
bad.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, we all forget.
I mean, they
Is
did
there anything
Garage
else after
Days.
that?
They did Garage Days. That was kind of fun because
Yeah.
there was
That
like.
sounds familiar. They did a cover album, right?
Yes, yes. Well, here's the thing. They did Garage Days, and I think right after Garage Days was Saint Anger, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds right.
Possibly, yeah.
They had issues. Like, I think Saint Anger was their first album with Hetfield clean. Like, he was a raging alcoholic.
Yeah.
He was.
And
One of the many problems with the album was he was straight out of rehab. This is why this whole album should have been shelved for a year or two later.
you got to watch the fucking documentary.
No,
My
I'm
dad
not.
watched the documentary. He was like, dude. He
Nope.
goes, he forgot how to play guitar
Yeah,
because
no.
he was
So
so
it goes,
drunk he forgot how to play
The
guitar.
documentary is more tolerable than the album. So
So
if
it's
you
not
can-
even. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Going back. So it's Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All, Metallica, Load, Reload, Saint Anger, Death Magnetic, and Hardwired. GarageBand is somewhere in there, but
Yeah.
for some reason it's not in there.
Yeah.
Well, those are original albums. The
Yeah.
Garage one is just a collection of covers that they used to do when they first started.
Yeah, so that, I mean, neither here nor there. So Saint Anger is their first official 6 years after Reload, so I bet you it was right in between there.
They had a lot of problems.
But then they
Yeah.
didn't do anything until 2008.
Death-
They took 5 years off.
Now, before we dip into Saint Anger,
Yeah.
the full story of Metallica, Death Magnetic wasn't terrible though.
It was you can't rest the blame on the band. It is the production all the way with Death Magnetic. It is the high point of what is known as the Loudness Wars, and I'm sure as audio people you probably know all about it.
I've heard of it, but I'm not an audio person.
Attack your face with audio.
I've heard it from this show.
Yeah. Fuck the noise floor. Fuck dynamic range.
Fuck dynamic range.
Think of the Strokes. Like when you listen to a Strokes
Now-
album, it's just fucking.
Yeah,
screaming
you
in
mean
your
that time
face.
that I never listened to a Strokes
Right.
album?
Now hold on. I wrote this.
Fair,
I wrote
fair.
this on my blog that the Loudness War actually allowed some bands to sort of eke their way in that might not have been, namely the Strokes and that whole garage band revival that we had. They eked in because of the Loudness War. That is the only. It's like saying, hey, at least Mussolini got the trains to run on time. It's like I'm not defending the Loudness War, but there was a niche where hey, even a broken watch is right twice a day.
We're gonna get flagged if I write that down as the title. You'd be like, all right, well that's gonna be hate speech in that episode.
I still want you to write it down.
All
I
right.
want to decide on that one later.
We'll talk about it.
I hear Hardwired's pretty good though. No,
It's okay. It's okay. It's they went back to their roots. It feels like an old album. Personally, I feel like it's phoned in. I feel like it's a bunch of old guys trying to rock the same way they did 30 years ago. But to each their own. I'd take that any day over Lulu or Saint Anger.
The real tragedy of their last album was the cover.
It's pretty fucking bad.
The artwork is, I think
pretty
they could've-
stupid.
I think they could have done better.
Artwork's funny nowadays, man.
Yeah. Well,
There's
you
bands.
don't-
It's
you don't
it's
care
it's
anymore.
either dog shit or really fucking
Right,
awesome,
yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
starting to swing back toward really fucking awesome because of LPs.
That's true,
you know?
yeah.
So Saint Anger, produced by Bob Rock. I
Bob
believe.
Rock, yes.
Engineered as well.
Yeah.
That guy sounds like he parties.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Bob Rock. Do you want some cocaine? I've got a bunch.
And I read an art. When I heard about this, I went back and I listened. I went back. I listened to Saint Anger, and I went down this weird spiral. And I listened to Saint Anger, and I'm like, oh my god, that snare drum, that fucking guitar,
It's all bad.
the vocals, everything was bad. And then I was just, I was like, why does this sound so fucking bad? And then I listened to what Bob Rock had to say, and he was just like, oh, I was trying to make it sound more garage rock.
Exactly.
And I'm like, but that doesn't sound like garage.
You
to me.
failed
That sounds like a
miserably.
shitty band.
That's what
Yeah.
I
in a
think, too.
garage.
Unfortunately, it's had a revival in the past 5 or 6 years where people are starting to defend it and saying that it's kind of like their artistic vision, like it was something different.
Then they didn't watch the documentary.
Yeah, and
Because
it-
that was forced out like a fucking kidney stone.
It also had a revival because in 2015, I'm forgetting the band, but they had just broken up and needed a new project, and they decided to do Saint Anger the right way.
And I was gonna get to that.
Yeah.
If you
actually
YouTube
don't
it,
know
if
this
you
one.
YouTube it, it's actually Saint Anger, and they took the color
2015.
scheme of it and they changed it to like neon green and a
Yeah.
bunch of, and it sounds fucking really
It's
good.
so good.
Really?
Yeah.
This
Listen
is a
to it.
different
It's-
band?
This is a different band. I'm forgetting the something.
Well, it's like when people recut like the first 3 Star Wars movies to make them into one good film.
They they did all the parts exactly the same, except they re-recorded the guitars, they re-recorded the drums, and they
In the right order, which
engineered
was-
it properly.
which was one of the problems originally with Saint Anger is they recorded it in the wrong order.
What did they do?
They
See, this I
recorded,
don't know.
they recorded the guitars first, which you absolutely never
No,
do. You
guitar
should-
players don't really have good time.
No,
most of
they
the time.
don't. Which is why the
I'm a guitar player. I
which
don't
is-
have great time.
Which is why in the album it constantly goes in and out of rhythm.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they cannot keep time. It
So-
sounds like a shitty garage band because of that, because they can't keep time.
For the dumb people, drums and bass are usually tracked at the same time, and then the guitars are played in the background in the headphones while they're, the guys are just sitting in the studio playing the guitars, and the drummer's being fed, and they're playing, and then they layer everything on top.
Someone we had in said that they did click track bass and then bass and like the drummer would go along with the bass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then go to the guitars, then the vocals.
They
Yes,
did it
yes.
ack basswords.
Yeah.
They
fucking
did it.
I mean, it does
really
make sense
stupid.
that you just
Guitars.
start with something that has perfect time, like a click
Yes.
track.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the bass player give his whatever, and then the
Yeah.
drummer can kind of feed off of that, and that all makes sense.
And that's interesting.
And there are so many bands that I see live that it's just like, why are you playing this so goddamn fast?
Yeah.
It's because the lead guitar player wants to get it done and go fuck somebody.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
The drummers. It's the drummers. It's the drummers' responsibility to be on time and on
Yeah.
tempo. Have you ever seen Whiplash?
No. I was just thinking of the movie that
my
really
tempo.
shitty movie, That Thing You Do. Remember that?
Okay,
from the
first
90s?
off, we can debate how shitty that movie is. 'Cause that movie was awesome.
Yeah, thank
All right,
you.
fine. I
Thank
haven't
you.
seen it in
This
20
side of the
something
table
years.
likes-
That movie, great.
I've
love
seen
that.
it one
Yeah.
time in what, 97?
Tom Hanks is telling the drummer, "You're the timekeeper."
All right, I'm gonna
Oh
find
man,
out.
that sounded great. It took Chad a week to learn that. It's like, but yeah. So
So
they
it's
go
from 1996. I saw that in the theaters, one and only one
Oh,
time.
wow.
Oh my God, I've
Yeah.
seen
And
it
you
like a
didn't
dozen
sing that
times.
song in your head for
No,
the rest
I
of your
mean
life?
I did. Like I can still hear it.
I
but-
know the one song that they played in that like the "Come on and dance with me tonight."
Yeah.
That's a great
many
fucking
times did you
song.
fucking
They
sing
actually
that
had a
movie?
contest for that movie. Who could write the poppiest pop song?
Yeah, who could write the
and
catchiest song?
catchiest song, and That Thing You Do won.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, interesting. Man, you're just full of information today, huh?
I consider myself a bit of a music historian.
But-
he says
Oh,
as
yeah.
he slowly stirs his red wine.
Did anybody
yeah,
want
here
another
it is.
drink?
No, I'm
Mike
good.
Zima? Yeah.
Liquid candy.
No. Yeah.
Oh.
I forgot we had that.
Please,
Holy
please, absolutely, yes.
Wow.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
These aren't vintage or anything. They did a
No,
special.
wait.
What are you doing?
Ooh.
Sorry.
refreshing.
All right, so
citrus
we're gonna
punch.
do What Are You Drinking now? I think.
Grace
Oh,
the
boy.
Skies was the name of the
Grace
band
the Skies, that's it.
that re-recorded. It's Metallica,
Oh,
Saint
of course they're
Anger.
twist off.
It's Metallica.
Of course, yeah.
Metallica, Saint
Believe you were
Anger,
doing it.
re-recorded. It's a neon green. It's a neon green looking thing here, guys. Check. See. So the cover art looks better.
Yeah.
Just by a change of color scheme, and it sounds great. And going back to the guitar thing, like I said, those guys are coming off of being on fucking, being sober, or getting
Yeah.
on to being sober on the bandwagon.
Hetfield has just
On the
had-
bandwagon.
They're on the bandwagon.
Yeah, he had just finished rehab.
So
Yeah.
so it was now his job to keep the proper time and tempo of the songs. So bad idea.
Right.
The first time I heard any track from that album was on MTV.
Me too.
They did like a big,
Yes,
huge fucking
yes.
suck fest
Yep.
reveal thing. Like they were being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and all it was they were releasing an album
Yeah.
Yep.
6 years later.
I saw it when they did the premiere of the music video, and I was fucking stoked. And I start hearing that dong, 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 and
The-
I'm like,
the
oh no,
drums.
oh no, what's going
How about
on?
Avril Lavigne doing Fuel? You remember that? Because I
Oh,
remember that.
no.
I'll never forget that. That'll flash through my mind's eye when I'm dying.
So I do have to admit, full disclosure, I did have an unhealthy celebrity crush on Avril Lavigne
Oh, I
in my
fucking
youth.
love that.
Okay, all right.
Everybody did.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
How old
I'm
are
not-
you again?
I'm 32.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm
Yeah.
30.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
all
yeah,
had
yeah.
we all had crushes.
All
on
right,
her.
all right. I don't want to be judged.
Yeah, so I saw that and I was like, this is gonna go bad. And then they played Frantic, and the I was like, what is
God
this?
damn.
I'm like, wow, they're going in a weird direction.
Well, there was another problem. Hetfield's juvenile lyrics just absolutely awful. His songwriting
Yeah.
was just balls after rehab, absolutely horrible. So there's another problem.
yeah.
There's a lot of problems.
It's a perfect storm of mistakes.
It's a fucking mess. And I mean, it's funny because when I was telling people that I was going to do this, everyone was like, well, fuck Saint Anger. You got to do Lulu. And I'm like,
What's
Right.
Lulu again?
Lulu's the one
was
with
the
Lou Reed.
the last project that Lou Reed did. And it's
oh yeah, you did.
fucking
You said
bad.
that before. I didn't catch
No, that's
the
okay.
name
But
of
that's
the
not like
album.
it's not pure enough. You know, it's like
You need
that's
something that
like
had enough
talking shit
shock.
about Chris Cornell for doing that stupid album.
Oh, the Billie
Which
Jean
one?
one.
The electronic album.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that was a
Ground
mistake,
Zero, I think it was
sure,
called.
but that doesn't really exemplify what happened to his career.
Right.
Exactly.
It's something that happened as a result of what happened to his career.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you almost have to talk just as much shit about the people he collaborated with
Yeah.
as him. Like his decisions were a big problem. But,
Mhm.
Well, he was also again another raging alcoholic and
Yeah.
pill addict,
Yeah.
which ended up taking him down. But that aside, yeah, it's a garbage album. If you haven't listened to it, I suggest just listening to
Yeah,
it
That-
as
it's important.
as
If
a-
you dare,
just
if
as
you
a
dare.
reference.
a
Yeah.
reference to what
The-
not to do.
The funny thing is, you said before when when you said you were going to do this, I went down a rabbit hole and checked it out. I went, that's hilarious. I'm not fucking listening to that.
Yeah.
I did. I listened to a bunch of the tracks in the album just to remember how disappointing it was.
Yeah.
And then I listened to these fucking guys, Grace the Skies, do it.
Yeah.
And it sounds great. It sounds
Fantastic.
really
I'm gonna
good.
check that out.
The
Because
number one thing that Tony is going to have to endure is the popcorn snare.
I mean, I'm aware of it because I've listened to the album
Yeah.
before. I listened to it in pure hatred and anger.
But physically, can you take
That's
that
kind of
amount?
the theme of the
It is
of the
kind of,
album.
yeah, it really is. I mean, I'm not going to enjoy it. I never did. It was always, it's just one of those things that was like a punch in the face. Because when you think about Metallica, you think of Ride the Lightning, you think of Master of Puppets. And then here is this shining piece of shit that's just looking you in the face. And people didn't like it. And I get frustrated when I just listen to people say that it's good now. Like
It's
we're
not
having
good.
this.
It was never good.
It was
never
never
good.
Lars Ulrich was asleep at the goddamn wheel when he said, "I'm gonna take the snares off the snare drum, and it's gonna sound awesome."
He's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's not even a very good drummer. Like he's
No,
a
I
good
agree with
drummer.
you.
He's a good like studio drummer.
Yeah,
But
I agree with you.
a great thing
I would
to
just
watch.
love the conversation where he just goes, "Let's see you do it."
Yeah.
Well, shit.
Well, yeah. Well,
I never
fuck
said
Lars.
to take the
Yeah.
stairs off the snare drum, Lars. That's the bottom
be
line
like-
of that equation right
that would
there.
have been funny
I
if you
did
were just
not-
like, "Can I put those back on?"
I'm not
before-"
the idiot that knocked Jason Newsted's bass lines out of fucking And Justice for All either. So you
Yeah.
suck.
Yep.
I don't even know.
And I
That was another problem. Jason Newsted, he had just left.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was
Another
awesome.
reason why this album should have been shelved for another 2 years.
Yeah, just
let him get a
fucking
new.
Robert just chill, play a few live shows.
Do you know who played the bass on this album?
Actually, I don't.
Bob Rock, the producer.
Oh, fuck off.
Bob Rock is a
off.
cunt.
Yeah, I don't like him.
That's like in
Yeah.
Wayne's World 2 when Christopher Walken's character
Yeah.
is showing the guitar
He
player.
can really
like, yeah.
shred.
Yeah. No, you play it like this, douche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just have Bobby on the album. Ugh.
So
Fuck producers.
All right,
too, for the
well,
most part.
I don't
Yeah, I think
care
it's
about
time
this
for-
album at all.
I think
so,
it's time.
Well, hang on. We got to do one thing really quick. It's what are you drinking? So before we get into that, though, new live chat replay on YouTube. Your chat messages are now saved and may be seen by viewers who watched a recording of the stream.
Ooh, very
Yeah,
nice.
so when you live comment on the show, that will apparently be on the upload. too.
Like
That's awesome.
Anthony Lavelle
Yeah, reached out to
from
us.
high school. What's
Yeah.
up, buddy? Thanks for watching.
So first and foremost, before we get into the funny thing, let's talk about North River Hops and Brewing with their Hey Arnold Palmer Sour, and it's spectacular.
So
you guys had one a little while ago. What'd you
Yeah.
I
think?
already drank it.
Yeah,
How is it?
it's the most approachable sour I've ever had.
Really?
If you don't like sours
Yeah.
but you like lemonade,
Yeah.
try it out.
I don't like sours personally. That's delicious.
It's got that.
Smells good.
It's
Smells
got
like
that ale
Belgian.
base.
Yeah,
I like that ale base.
Imagine doing a shandy with like a Belgian wheat beer.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that does
that's
sound good.
kind of how it is. You get the tartness from the lemon, but it's not overpowering. It's not. Me and Amy's stepdad Steven drank a growler last night, and normally I'd have like tons
Steven
of heartburn.
and I.
Yeah, Steven and I.
Ooh.
Yeah, good job.
Steven.
So I mean, Amy even likes it as a sour. So it's very, very good. This is what we had left from Hudson Valley Creator Fest. Thank you to North River for donating.
Absolutely.
We sold a good bit of it, but I wanted to bring some on the show, and I'll bring whatever we got left back to them.
We'll talk
Yeah.
about HV when
Yeah.
Tony's doing her thing.
Yeah, she's listening to Saint Anger.
What you drinking?
So the other thing that we have,
What are you drinking over
These
there?
delightful
Tony,
sprites.
You can do that one.
I thought these were clear. They look kind of
a little hazy.
old, a
Yeah,
little
it's a
hazy.
little hazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they brought back Zima,
Like if you drank a lot of water that day.
which we
Yeah.
talked about this on the show like 6 months ago.
But we never got it.
Yeah, we never
'Cause
got it.
I can't drink it.
Yeah, he can't because it's a malt beverage. It's 5% alcohol, which is more than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
thought
not
these
bad.
were.
I would like 3.5 would have been
Yeah.
my guess, but
All right, bottoms up.
It's Sprite.
we
You're
both
fucking
didn't
with
do
me,
We almost clunked our heads trying to fucking do
They're
that.
fucking with it. They put Sprite in here,
No,
I've never
this
had
is-
a
this
Zima
I'm not
soda.
gonna lie.
Yeah.
That's really tasty.
Yeah, it tastes like soda.
Yeah, it's
It tastes
pretty
like
good.
soda, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a delightful soda. But when you
I
tell
want
me
to know how much fucking sugar.
you tell me there's an alcoholic
Yeah, that's a
beverage
good
in my hand,
question.
then I have some issues. I take
They don't have
issue.
to put nutrition information. So
Oh no.
No.
Oh
it
wow.
says contains alcohol.
Are you sure?
There's 3 more if you guys want them.
I'm
I mean,
skeptical.
I
It's
might,
already making my teeth hurt. I don't know.
I might hang on to him just for the joke. Because
Yeah.
all weekend I was doing, because they were in my car at Creator Fest. I was like, hey, while I'm in here, anybody want a Zima? And it never stopped being funny to me, at least.
I need to pick up some Zima just for that joke now.
I am
We
drinking.
should give one to Vicky. Our roommate Vicky is a total beer snob, and
Oh my
knows
God.
all.
Yeah.
She'll fucking die if
You
we
can
bring
take
these
one
home.
Yeah.
I'm drinking
Thank you.
Revival by Salt Point Meadery. Their lemon and fresh ginger, my second favorite of the bunch. They were at Creative Fest as well. And this magically ended up in my refrigerator. I had no idea how it got there. I just opened it, and Brooke, I was like, how did this get in here? And Brooke just stared at the refrigerator and went like this. Squinted her face and pursed her lips, and she's like, I'm not really sure.
I bet you Jess or Karina bought it or something.
Somebody
Gotta be.
yeah.
Yeah. Because they were selling retail, and he said they did pretty well.
At Salt Point,
yeah.
those motherfuckers
Yeah.
knew they got my number because they got this one called Revolution, and it's got hops and blood orange in it,
Yeah,
and it's
it's so
effervescent
good.
as well.
Yeah.
So,
So
they
they-
brought a
yeah.
keg of that for a good old ride, a sip from.
Yeah, and they gave us a couple bottles at the end, and yeah, I drank mine last night, so Amy still got hers.
Yeah.
So
Now I don't know. Did you get me on purpose, or do you not? Are you not aware of this?
What do you mean?
what?
Based on the last podcast, you guys know I'm Mr. Skeptic.
Yes.
This is covered in zodiac symbols.
Oh yeah.
No, this is just
This that I'm drinking is the Cabernet Sauvignon by Auspician.
yes.
And
It
on the
was-
back, Auspician symbolizes the mystical connection between us. It celebrates our own unique individuality. So basically, horse shit.
Yes. No, that wasn't on purpose. That was donated to Hudson Valley Creator Fest, and we do appreciate Southside donating some wine
It is,
for us.
it is
Southside
very
Wine and Liquor
delicious.
on Hooker Avenue?
They make a good wine.
Yeah.
Being full of horse shit does not
Yeah.
preclude you from making a fantastic
Yeah.
Cabernet.
Well, it's like that Dr.
Yeah.
Bronner soap. It's all full of Go Jesus stuff all over it, but it's great soap. Great
right,
soap.
right.
Yeah. So I get it. I'm with you. But yeah, thank you to Southside for donating. And I promise you, we're not just going to drink it all. We actually just came up with the idea today of doing maybe just like a party to kind of raise some money for the front end costs of Creator Fest next year. So maybe just do something at Creator Fest at the Crafted Cup. Sell some wine, some leftover beer. You know, oh my God! He's
Oh, here he
mixing some
goes.
wine.
no.
He's making a spritzer with.
With a Zima.
Might as well.
It's a Zima Cabernet Spritzer.
Write that shit down.
Yeah,
Oh no.
How do you feel?
How'd you do?
It's,
it's
like liquid
way
candy. It's
too
fantastic.
early in the show to be doing that.
You know what?
No, do it.
I
I,
told
want to
you,
hear
I-
a Mac rant by the end of this
I
show.
can't
Oh
Thursday.
no, 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 no. Sorry.
No, you're okay.
Let me tell you the problem with Lars. He got too big for his britches.
This stupid Nordic asshole.
All right. Well, do you want to take a break to set her up?
Nope.
Or,
You can
yeah.
plug right in
Yeah,
and get
plug
going.
right in.
All
All
right,
right,
We're
so
gonna
I think
start-
we should tell them how much money was
Yeah,
raised.
for sure.
It was
Yeah.
$126. So I have to listen to 126 minutes of this piece of shit.
Which means that is the album
I
is
believe
what?
it's 75 or 76 minutes
Yeah,
long.
it's in the vicinity, which is
Okay.
fucking really long.
That's a
Yeah.
long album. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a long
Every-
Francis
They
Dean
fucked
put
me.
out an 18-minute album a couple of months ago.
Every track could have been cut down a good minute at least.
All right. So that makes it easy to kind of keep track. So you know you have to listen to it straight through once.
Yes.
And then do some math from there.
All right.
Yeah, so
I mean, can you like pick out tracks?
No.
Like no, you just got to
Nope,
listen to
I'm
it
gonna
straight
listen to
through,
it
start at
straight
the
through.
beginning.
I want to
Okay.
fuel this anger.
Okay.
You know? I'm gonna live the album like
Well,
they want me to.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
Yeah.
Should we
You're
get a
welcome.
vomit bucket?
No, I'm just gonna be knitting and be pissed off.
I don't think your body can physically handle it.
I got my Zima. I'm good to go.
I'm
Okay.
gonna keep my eyes open for some eye rolls and head shakes.
Yeah.
So the idea with the splitter and everything is that we're going to be able to just kind of bump the volume on that input
Yeah,
to
so-
make sure you're actually listening.
Yeah. So what
Okay,
happened?
okay.
Because if
So
we
you can't
fucking
catch me.
if we blip that and you're listening to something else,
Yeah.
you
Peter
gotta
Gabriel.
start over. Gotta start over.
Shit. All right, guys. Wish me luck.
Yeah. She's going down the rabbit hole.
I'm
I
going
do not
in.
envy
So remember, the silver end goes in your phone, and your headphones go into the splitter, and then the rest of it should be good. And we'll do a little quick. Give us a thumbs down when when Saint Anger starts playing.
Will do. I'm sorry. Where's the other?
Where's it? Oh yeah, there it is.
Okay.
At the other end. I built that cable. An hour ago.
Very nice work.
So this headphone jack has to go into the splitter.
No.
No?
Just leave it alone. Jesus
Okay, I was
fucking Christ.
All right, it's fine. Everything's fine.
All right, so, and you refused to. Oh, wait, you said did you buy the album originally?
Oh no, I have it on Spotify.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys.
All right, let's
Goodbye.
see how it goes.
Goodbye.
Is it working?
Maybe. I don't have service down here.
Oh no.
Do you want to give her the Wi-Fi real quick so she's not burning through her data?
Yeah.
Do you want the what?
Hang on one second.
Do you want the Wi-Fi?
We're gonna mute the mics for a quick second so I can give out the password for my Wi-Fi. Like anybody, it matters, but
yeah.
Okay, now we're back.
And we're back.
All right. So wait, hold on.
So one thing though,
It's there.
Can you just put it at the other end because it
Absolutely.
messes with my box?
You got it.
Yeah, thank you.
Ah.
All right, it's there.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm 100% positive. This is great. I'm very excited about this.
Dead to the world right now.
And
so.
and you can't hear us at all.
Barely.
All right, beautiful. Love
Now,
it.
those of you who don't know what's going on right now inside Tony's body, that snare drum is just twisting her diaphragm, causing a nausea experience that's just excruciating.
I just don't understand how a fucking producer, Bob Rock, what has he done? He's like
His name is
hold up.
Bob Rock.
First
It's
off-
so ironic that he sucks such a bag of
First
dicks.
off, the mystery is, it's Metallica, okay? As a producer, sometimes, if Lars Ulrich says he wants something, you give it to him, okay? You don't say, I don't think that's a good idea. You're like, yep, okay. So how much of the blame? I'm not saying he's blameless, but how much of the blame is a big question. I'll tell you what, Lars Ulrich's, it was totally his idea to pull those snares off that drum and make the popcorn snare that totally bleeds through everything else, that physically exhausts the listener.
dude. Bob Rock has produced a fucking ton of shit,
Mhm.
and I just found out that he's Canadian, so there's a problem right there.
What a piece of shit.
From the old country.
He recorded Motley Crue.
Motley Crue, The Cult, Metallica, Load and Reload, Veruca Salt, Cher.
Weird.
A lot of Crew and Cult. He was a big fan of theirs, apparently. He also did engineering for Survivor and Loverboy, Prism. I'm gonna be laughing. If I just laugh sporadically, it's because Tony made a face. He's done a bunch of, but he's done a bunch of shit albums too. Here we go. Offspring, The Offspring, Summer Nationals, The Offspring, Days Go By, 311, Universal Pulse. Like none of these albums are good.
Yeah.
Tragically Hip. I'm not a fan.
I'm
of
a
them.
huge Offspring fan, but none of those are the best albums. I would.
Lost Prophets. Ugh.
Ugh.
That album sounds shit too.
You can really hear the kids getting diddled.
Is
in
that the one? Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. He diddled a kid. Yeah.
They booted him for that one.
They. I don't think he can come back from that one. Like, all right, guys, bad meeting.
He's like Static X. What's his name? Trip Eisen.
Yeah. Mm.
Oh my God, my dog's named after a pedophile.
Yeah, right.
Holy shit! It just dawned on me.
Oh dear.
Ay, ay, way.
I had kind of checked out of that conversation because I was trying to let people know where they could donate for the show because Anthony just asked, and you can't put a link in a comment. I mean, that makes sense.
It's a spam blocker.
Yeah.
But if you're the actually, I could probably do it from mine.
Maybe. I just said we're on patreon.com. Just search Dead Radio Podcast. But if you're listening, Anthony, just patreon.com/Dead Radio Podcast. It's very easy to find.
Yeah, so...
What was it? My dog is named after a pedophile?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't do it for me either, but oh well.
Yeah,
It makes
sense. It's stupid, but it makes sense.
So Mac, you've been doing rings.
I have been, yeah.
So
got into...
Well, there's a couple things that a couple projects you've been.
Yeah.
We've talked about Blurs and Nerds on the show before.
Yes, and we definitely have to have those people on soon because I have taken.
I think it's great that she's seeing this written down out of context.
She's totally not hearing us. She just hears the music, so she sees the titles totally out of context. So she just got My Dog is Named After a Pedophile, which is fantastic.
Actually, yeah, so you had Blurs and Nerds. Well, you have Blurs and Nerds.
Yeah.
You're more of a...
I'm taking somewhat not I wouldn't say a backseat, but it's I shouldn't be the spokesperson.
You're doing the production.
I'm doing the production a little bit. They're actually even they're slowly phasing me out, which is almost like
it happens.
It makes
it's
sense.
Like your kid learning to walk. It's like that kid could potentially kill me with a knife in 8 years.
I'm fantastically happy with what they're doing. They're doing an absolute
I haven't been able to
great
listen
job.
because I haven't seen Infinity War.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not a comic book person, so that is like right now.
You're like Star Wars.
It's almost like a liability to have me on and be like,
you're like, I'm not going to see Black Panther.
I'm not going to see that stuff. Like,
I didn't see Black Panther. I didn't see fucking Infinity War. I didn't.
From what I hear, you cannot see Infinity War without seeing Black Panther.
Right.
There are certain things you can get away with, like not seeing like Civil War and shit. I know you hate Captain America, but we're not going down this rabbit hole.
Right. But basically, the long and short of it is because of her, Miss Art House Film. Queen over here, I have grown to distaste because she points this shit out to me. I'm like, fuck, all this shit is right. How current movies and stuff like that, they're just saccharine sweet. And there's nothing behind them.
It's just popcorn. Shove
it's
it in
just
your
popcorn.
fucking face,
it's
man.
just candy. All these action movies.
I think there's value to it though.
There,
it's just you can just have fun sometimes.
I basically
I get that.
I take the opinion of who I'm around, and it's mostly her. So
well, that's what he does too.
Yeah.
He'll be like, "This is bullshit," and I'll be like, "But Ryan." And then 5 minutes later, he's like, "You know what? You're right."
Yeah.
If you just,
I don't sit.
Goes, those things sound smart.
I don't sit and pine on it. That's my thing.
This Zima is fucking terrible. I don't know if I can finish it. I'm trying real hard. I feel like I've had 6.
Just
Diet
whack
Cokes.
it down. Put it down.
See, for
like
me,
a big boy.
It's the easiest thing to finish on the
It
planet.
tastes so fake
Because it's Sprite. It's not. If you've ever tasted a Sprite, you've tasted Zima. Like, I've never tasted a Zima before tonight. I had no idea what
Zima is the MCU of alcohol. Right on.
Yeah.
The longing glare in Tony's eyes right now.
I know. It's just like you're so sad. You're doing something you love to do, and you're so. There's like 12
and all she's
more.
saying is like.
She's hearing the high plucks of that drum. Bing, ping, ping, ping. That cuts through everything.
I want my money back.
Fuck this. Fuck charity. It's not worth it.
Oh, that's fucking. Oh, we should probably talk a little.
She's got to pick another album for next year. For next year's Creator Fest.
Maybe Death Magnetic, the next album, which is bad for a completely different reason.
But it could be a different band. It doesn't just need to be Metallica.
I mean, like, what's
true.
a fucking really terrible album? Limp Bizkit.
Any album by them.
Any album by them.
Yeah.
She has no idea what we're talking about.
I do have.
We're plotting her demise.
Occasionally, I do have a guilty pleasure for Limp Bizkit.
Hey,
I'll tell you. Hold on.
I think My Way is a decent song.
I have a guilty pleasure for his George Michael cover of Faith.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It is fun.
Yeah.
All
right.
I fucking headbang that fucking song.
That's what I have
awesome
a guilty
song.
pleasure for. Everything else is
It's
basically did not age well.
Yeah, oof, no, it did
Did
not.
not age well.
And they tried to make their comeback, and no one cared. Not even their old
People were
fans.
listening to more Papa Roach's new album than their fucking new shit.
Oh, that's another band. Cut my life into pieces. They're the fucking worst.
All right. Well, we got very sidetracked. So, so Blurs and Nerds.
Yes.
You're into it. You're
Yeah.
not 100% because
well, for people who
right
will-
now, I've
last
taken
year.
a back seat just because I'm not the comic book guy. I'm the
Yeah.
worst person to have on right now.
You're,
and
you're
there's-
more of like a Star Wars.
I'm a
kinda,
Star Wars
yeah.
guy. I'm an RPG guy. You know, I'm down to play some Dungeons and Dragons anytime. I'm a huge.
We're not talking about.
Yes,
Dungeons.
we fucking are.
We can.
Let's do it. Let's
I'm
do
just
it.
gonna start listening to music and knitting too. We've been talking about doing a Dungeons and Dragons episode, and the more we talk about it, the less I want to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the more we talk about it, the more the
Yeah.
bigger it gets in my brain because I work with his brother
Right.
Matt and his brother's Matt's girlfriend Lee. She's a D&Der, and then another person we work with, Julia Gulia. It's not her real name, but I mean Julia is her real name, but Gulia is not her real last name.
Yeah.
She plays D&D as well.
Right.
So Matt DM'd my first game that
Broke
I've
his
ever
cherry.
played. It was just a one shot.
Right,
I
okay.
don't have the. That's the thing with D&D. You need to. It's a weekly thing. It can be a monthly thing. Most people want to play that. I've
They
come
want to
across.
develop. They
They-
want to develop.
They want to develop characters. They want a big fucking epic thing that lasts a year or a couple months or whatever, and you play every single week. I already have something that I do every single week.
Right.
So one shots are kind of like what I'm looking at,
Mhm.
and maybe like an adventure league type thing,
Yeah.
which I'm not even going to go
So
into that.
basically, you're saying if you wanted to expand your D&D hobby, you'd need to make this show full time and quit your real job.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
I'd
And
have to-
that's-
So it'd
that's
be
the problem I
Monday,
have
Monday,
sometimes.
Wednesday, Friday for this show, Tuesday, Thursday for Dungeons and Dragons, and then we have the weekend.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's
yeah.
the problem I have as a DM sometimes. You know, I have all these grand plans of world changing and, oh my gosh, this whole, I make maps of the world and like these places that my characters will never go to. And it's like, I've got all this stuff, but it's the day-to-day minutia of,
The one shot I played, Matt tied in a plot point from the one that he's a player in
Mhm.
to the one that he's a player in. He tied a plot point into the game that he developed,
Right.
the one shot that he developed. I thought that was, I didn't know about it. No one else knew about it. And when it happened, Lee just started squealing. Oh my God, that's my. And I was just like, what's happening right now?
Every D&D game I play plays in the same world that I invented.
It was so goddamn fun for me. I didn't know anything about it. And it all started with Lou Agresta. He turned me on to Starfinder, and I was completely confused. And then I was just like, dude, this is very confusing. He goes, well, it's based off of Pathfinder, and Pathfinder is, they call it Mathfinder because apparently you got to add all the time. You just got to add. This is minor math, but in Pathfinder, apparently it's like 10 times worse.
Yeah, I've played Pathfinder. It's another set of dense rules to learn, so I didn't, and I just went along for the ride, which is awesome sometimes because I DM a lot.
Yeah.
Which means you got to be Mr. Rules, you got to be Mr. Creative, you gotta have a voice for 1,000 different people when all the other people get to play just their person. With Pathfinder, I was just like, I'm not learning all this. I'm taking a back seat. Tell me what to roll, and I got to be on the other end of that for once, which is nice.
So what about for our D&D podcast?
Right.
Let's do some.
Logistics on the air.
I'm already tired of it.
I don't even know what I was playing on that.
So what if we had
Badly.
Matthew DM? We have Lou play instead of DM because he was talking about doing like a whole big thing in Pathfinder and like everybody doesn't have characters, and then Julia, you, and myself.
Okay.
And that way, kind of everybody's.
You're not invited.
That's
Oh
fine.
no! And I was going to invite Mike too. Like that should be enough, right? So that's Matthew, Lou, you, Julia, me, and Mike. That's 6 mics. Can we do that?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we can. I could probably do 7 too.
Yeah.
If Tony does Tony play?
Tony plays.
Yeah.
I don't. She's,
Well, we're also leaving out Lee in that situation because
Oh,
she was
Jesus,
originally
yeah.
going to be involved.
Speaking of
but-
Tony, her hair has gotten slightly more disheveled, which is the first side.
She just wants to die.
It is the first side. It is the.
Can we just make sure she's still listening?
Yeah, let's take a listen.
All right, we're not monetized anymore, so it doesn't
No,
matter
it doesn't
that much.
really matter.
Yeah. All right, well, she is listening.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
this is
that
too
would be
good.
kind of fun.
It would be,
you
but
know,
like the party then becomes incredibly huge. Like
Yeah.
you listen to, there's a podcast I listen to called Critical Role.
Critical Role's a good
and
one, yeah.
They have 7 characters. They originally had 8, and it's like, it's a fucking lot.
That's the one, Matthew Mercer.
Yes, Matt
DM.
Mercer. and
He is the DM that everybody should.
he's the gold standard.
He is
of
the
DM.
gold standard of DMs.
He does.
sounds like a
all
sex
his
thing.
voices are
First of all,
different.
he's a voice actor, so
Yeah.
therefore, right there off the bat, you've got something good.
I feel like I've had a couple of funny quips, and you guys are just glossing over them. It's pretty funny. Well, because I'll say something, and you're so into it, it's like you're not listening to
I've all
anything
hopped
I'm
up
saying.
on
Because
Zima
you said
mixed with
he's the
70.
gold standard of DMs, and I said that sounds like a sex thing.
Yeah,
Totally
gold
missed it.
standard, yeah.
Sorry.
Like you're strapped up in a basement getting the shit kicked out of you. You're such a good sadist. Fuck, I lost my train of thought. I got a set of dice. I got 3 more sets on the way.
Yeah.
Just one for each of the characters that I've built.
Yeah,
Like,
we
I
did
just-
we're with the Blurs and Nerds podcast. We did basically a "You teach me, I teach you" based off of the Pokemon lyric, in which we would all basically go around the table because we're all a very diverse group of nerds. You know, different backgrounds. Obviously, the whole thing is that Blurred stands for Black Nerds. You know, so we all have a very diverse group of different backgrounds and stuff like that. So my teaching everybody my nerd hobby was Dungeons and Dragons. So we did have a quick D&D. Go of it, and it seemed like it worked well. So I would definitely, highly recommend it for an episode.
I couldn't get through it. I tried.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I listened to every episode you were on, at least, except for that one.
Yeah.
And like I said, I haven't listened to the last 4 because there's all spoilers and shit.
Yes, this is true. Stay off.
Yeah, which is fine if that's as long as it says like spoilers in the title. You haven't done anything wrong. That's fine. But I can't listen to it until I've gone and seen the movie.
Right.
So.
Just like I'm fine with waiting. I'm just fine with
So
fucking waiting.
am I.
I haven't even
Yeah.
seen the goddamn I haven't even seen the last Jedi yet.
Oh wow.
I just like
That's
going.
that one. I mean, you should at least go to the South Hills.
Well,
City,
no, I'm
you know.
gonna. I just keep forgetting to buy it on Amazon
Yeah.
and watch it.
Oh, yeah,
because
it's
that's
already out.
That's what I
Yeah.
usually do.
You can
Is
probably
I
watch
just
it
wait
illegally
till I
at this
can buy
point.
it.
Right.
So I'm gonna. Go ahead.
I real quick. I need you to raise the volume on her Metallica because she is giving the same look that she gives me when I fuck up.
It sounds like a 6-year-old banging a cymbal in the background. This is terrible.
It's so bad, and she's so upset right now.
This is what is this? Some kind of monster?
Ugh.
We might still get flagged.
Oh,
for
look
this,
at her.
Josh,
She's still looking
even if we're not
disgust with
monetized.
this. Yeah.
It is Metallica. Remember what they
It
fucking
is
did?
Metallica. That was another problem with that
Yeah.
album is their
That was right around the Napster
their
shit,
fan
right?
issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, right around Napster. Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
They can download it. If the video gets fucked, then they can.
Well,
just
we'll still
download
have it. You can edit out the copyrighted material.
I can.
This is all
Yeah.
Lars Ulrich does is he searches online, and he's gonna be like, "Those dead radio bastards."
The best thing to ever happen to this show would be a cease and desist from Lars.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Could just be like, we're just a local podcast who fucking hates Metallica.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's exactly what I would say.
Yeah.
I would say that, and they'd be like, "Sir, you can't say fuck on television." I'd be like, "Well, you invited me here."
Right.
We're like on RNN. Yeah. Oh shit! I fucking forgot.
My fucking job. Well, if
Edit
you
that
were,
part out.
Well, if you were, no, that's fine. If you were, it would sound great. I am an audio engineer on RNN. So
Yeah. Well, he wasn't talking shit about RNN.
No,
he was just
exactly.
saying like
Right,
you're
right.
on a
Just-
new, like an actual.
we're
news
not
network.
disparaging my job. We're just
Yeah, I came out and I
Yeah.
forgot.
some local news. That's fine. But like I said, if
Wait,
you
can
do,
you get us in for me to talk shit about Metallica?
no, they don't give a shit what I think.
But could you imagine we get a cease and desist from Lars Ulrich and he's trying to sue us and take your house? And then it goes viral on YouTube, and we're like, well, we're just a local podcast who didn't care about Metallica until this, and now they're a bunch of cunts.
It was
Right,
it was the first show after we did a charity event for a nonprofit organization that helps veterans that teaches veterans sustainable farming methods within the Hudson Valley, and it was a local craft fair that man, we looked like such victims.
Lars Ulrich would look
and then
like
Lars has an interview in front of one of his 9 pools.
like he's putting on a skeleton costume and chasing around the Karate Kid. Like he's gonna look bad.
Can you write that down? Putting on a skeleton costume and chasing around the Karate
That's
Kid.
a lot. I can't do that. I'm
gonna just write skeleton Karate Kid, and we're just gonna try and remember.
What a. That's interesting because I just watched the first episode of Cobra Kai.
How is it?
Honestly,
Yeah,
it's pretty fucking good.
I see. I it's one of those things where I really want to like it, but there's my street cred that wants to be like, this is fucking stupid, and then my childlike wonder that wants to go. It's gonna be good, right?
It looked really dumb, and I think I told you about it. It looked really bad. The first few.
You told me about it, but you told me that it was coming out, and then
I think I texted you at like 1:30 in the morning when I saw a fucking preview for it.
Yeah.
On a YouTube channel or something.
Then my friend Toni,
who has terrible taste in everything.
Party foul.
What happened? Sorry, just trying to fix. Okay.
I was trying to get out for a second.
My friend Toni texted me. He goes, "Dude, have you watched Cobra Kai yet?" And I was like, "No fucking way. It looks dumb as shit." He goes, "It's fucking great." Blah 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 blah. And I was like, "All right, fine." I got home from work today, and I had a little bit of time to just like power down, and I was reheating some nachos, which is not the best. It doesn't turn out very well. However, while I was doing all that, I just, it's only half an hour episodes.
Right, yeah.
I watched the first episode, and I don't think you can watch them all without a YouTube Red thing, subscription. But the first episode was like, this is fucking cool. It's all from the perspective of the guy who played Johnny. And the guy who played Johnny's really good. Like, he's a decent actor.
Yeah.
He's done, he's done more than Ralph Macchio has.
Yeah.
Sure.
As far as
he was the bad guy in every 80s movie there was.
Oh, yeah. What was it? One of the guys?
One of the guys. Fantastic.
Have you seen that? Oh, man.
Hidden gem about a girl who does not get the journalism.
May I?
Yeah, please.
The one of the more attractive, popular girls in school. She's obsessed with journalism. She loves it. She turns in an article to the high school newsletter, and the editor says it's not good. She thinks it's because, and then he says, maybe journalism is not for you. Maybe you should become a model. Mm-hmm. And she takes umbrage.
Yes,
she did
to it.
And do you have like a thesaurus hidden somewhere? Because you've got a couple of $5.
I will say,
I'm smashing it tonight. No,
turgid and umbrage. She took turgid umbrage with. She said, "I shan't put up with a moment more of your pop cockery. I will be leaving post haste, sir. Good day."
So what she does is completely impossible. Mm-hmm. However, her parents are away.
Does she get into modeling?
Her parents, her parents are away on vacation, conveniently.
As every 80s movie starts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what she does is she cuts all her hair off, gets a dude haircut, and then starts dressing as a guy and trying to act like a guy, and goes and enrolls into a different school as the new kid. And
as it's so easy to do that as a teenager, to just enroll in school in the middle of a semester.
Right, the paperwork is a joke. It's basically a letter.
Gets on the journalism squad, if that's what they call it, and then writes a paper, and thinking she's going to get the same treatment, she doesn't. She just sucks as a writer.
Oh no, she thought she would get different treatment because she's a guy. She didn't. She got the exact same.
Good. She's a
Your
shit
paper's
writer.
dog shit.
But in the end, she writes about her experience as a guy.
About her being a shitty writer.
And it's a great article.
It is.
And it helps out a lot of people. and this and that. It's a cutting. Honestly, it's not a good movie.
Well, no,
However,
it doesn't sound like a good movie at all.
It's
but it's
fun,
a take
but it's
on
a
like
bit
Shakespearean, like what the fuck was the name of that? There was a play where
oh god,
they made there's been 50 movies made about it. Doesn't matter.
I
don't
want
like
to say
Shakespeare.
Taming of the Shrew, but
It's
no.
That's just the only Shakespeare thing that I can think
10
of.
things I hate about you.
Yeah,
The
it
Merchant
is.
of Venice.
Might be. I don't fucking know.
It doesn't matter. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But
But
it
that's
actually
the
was
direction
kinda
that I
like
thought it was going.
It's actually kind of cutting edge for
Yeah.
in the '80s. It was very like feminist kind of.
Yeah,
movie.
to be like, just because I'm a woman, I can still be kind of shitty.
But
You know?
anyway,
like, I get it. I get that. Like to assume that you're being stereotyped and because of that, like, and then to take a step out and realize maybe I'm just bad at this.
Yeah.
That's kind of a good.
But the too long didn't read of this whole thing was Johnny from The Karate Kid was also the asshole jock in
He was
that
like
movie.
literally like, who the fuck is that new kid? And
Yeah.
he's lifting a weight
Exactly.
in the parking lot next to his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Who is just like, who's
She's
that
sitting on the
new
hood.
kid?
She's sitting on the hood of his IROC.
He just
Yeah.
says things like,
Because he's a fucking tulip.
"Look who just walked in."
Oh my
Oh,
god!
His
man.
big thing is flipping tables.
Ah, yeah.
It's
I
taking.
don't want to watch this movie at all.
You have to.
I don't want to.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
You just said it wasn't good.
It's
It's not, but it's not good in the way the Street Fighter movie is not good.
Okay, well then I definitely don't want to fucking watch it.
But it's so good. It's so bad. It's good.
with Jean-Claude
With
Van Damme
Jean-Claude
and
Van Damme.
Raoul Julia.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Some
I'm
of
not
the
gonna-
best Raul Julia you could get. The day M. Bison graced your life was the most important day of yours. But for me, it was Tuesday. That is the best
He can
line.
quote Street Fighter.
I can quote. Hell yeah, I can quote that
You
movie.
should put that on your resume.
Yeah. It's under special skills.
Honestly, if I was at the Crafted Cup and somebody turned in a resume and says I can quote lines from Street Fighter, I'd be like, we should bring this guy in.
Yeah,
for
it's just gonna
quick-
be like,
I got
just
a plan
quick,
B.
just a quick.
You're
interview.
gonna sit down and you're just gonna be
I
like,
got a
I think you
plan
know
B.
where we want to start.
Oh man.
Toni has gone from angry to almost defeated and looks almost confused.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like painting or it's like writing music.
It looks to
When-
me like when people have hypothermia and they get really confused.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's hitting that
Yeah.
stage where she can't really compute everything that's going on around her.
When they find them 3 months later as they're like rotting in the spring, and it's like, why'd they take all their clothes off and try
Right.
to walk home?
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Hold
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is the worst thing I've ever heard. This is fucking horrible. This is fucking horrible. Jesus Christ.
Oh Christ! And we're only hearing like 5-second clips.
yeah.
Like each song is like 6 minutes long, and there's like
Yeah.
13 of them. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty tough for her right now. She finally made eyes.
Sucks so bad.
All right,
I
well,
need to know a little bit more.
I really
than-
have to pee.
You go ahead, because
Okay, if you
good?
guys want to keep going.
Yeah,
You wanna keep going?
Yeah,
while
sure.
you're
We
going?
can
So
keep going.
I'll just go pee. Just keep it going.
Yeah, I'm gonna
We
talk
need
about
to
the
give her a
rings.
break.
Are you taking a break?
we might be taking
Oh,
a
break?
break.
I'm taking a break. You're not taking a break. So we do need to give her a little bit at the end where she can talk about her
Absolutely.
horrible
Absolutely.
experience.
Yeah.
Go take a
So-
piss. I want to talk
yeah.
about Max Rings a little bit. We'll go into HV.
Yeah,
Creative
I want to
Fest,
talk
and
about
then we'll-
rings too.
Yeah.
So talk about D&D or something while I'm gone.
Yeah.
So
Just talk amongst yourselves.
yeah,
Sure.
I don't know what it is about the goddamn game, but it just tickled me in such a way. I've always played like RPG type games, but I
Mhm.
never liked Final Fantasy, the turn-based stuff,
Right.
because I guess that turn-based stuff when you're doing it with, a group of people around a table and there's miniatures and strategy and everything involved, it's way different than like turn-based RPG in a video
Very
game.
interesting you said that because I always felt the same thing. Growing up, I didn't like the Final Fantasies and stuff like that. I had
Yeah, I
to
didn't.
find them later in adulthood because when they came out, I'm just like, if I'm gonna play an RPG, I'm gonna play it with my friends. Why am I playing this turn-based? I play video games for action,
Yeah.
and that fast-paced
Then games like Mass Effect come out.
Yeah.
Where it's like run and gun mixed with RPG. And I'm like, awesome.
Right.
But how can we make this bigger, as in more of a sandbox? That's always, and that's been another thing, like with D&D, as a gamer, I'm just like, this is what I've been looking for. I've been looking for this ability to do as much as I possibly, as much as my imagination can, conjure.
Imagination, and then a rainbow forms over me.
I said to Matt before I did that first one shot, I was just like, what should I bring? And he goes, just a pen, a pad of paper, and your imagination. I was like, fuck you. Tony just wrote SOS on the table.
Oh dear.
Where are we? What happened?
Oh, and there's the snare.
And the fucking hard stereo separation. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Let's pan everything.
All I got James's guitar all the way in my left and nothing else in the right, but this king,
and it just shines through. And
it's what a mess. What a mess.
I will be 100% honest. Whatever Tony is knitting, it seems like a blanket.
It's going to turn very slowly into a noose.
This is going to be, well, whatever it is, this is the beginning of a horror movie. Whoever that garment will forever be cursed, and whoever wears it will meet an untimely end.
Oh man!
It was 15 years ago today. The girl who knitted this blanket listened to Saint Anger.
As you could tell from the crosshatch stitches.
She just asked for a drink.
Yeah, so I want to talk about your rings, man. That, like Tony, I guess, well, for people who don't know, Tony was with both of you guys. I'm sorry, at Hudson Valley Legends, local podcast that focuses on. What's the
we were the creators. It has now passed hands. We have sent it over to someone.
Yeah, and their first episode was out a little while ago.
Yeah,
it was pretty good. I miss you guys. It's nothing against them. It's just that
it's like the new Alice in Chains.
Okay,
yeah.
Sure.
It's still good. It's just different.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's different.
I thought it was good. The production value, it seems like they've kept that same kind of sound and everything like that. It's the same kind of theme.
If I could influence anybody in any way, that's okay, you know.
And it's all about all of the urban legends of the Hudson Valley. It's incredibly interesting, and
not just urban legends, like true things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Me and her, we've always tried to.
She and I.
Pardon me, good sir. She and
he
I.
corrected me before, so I wasn't going to let it go.
I was going to wait for it to come my way, but now that I see that it's going to go all around the table, I just think that language is more descriptivist than prescriptivist.
Sorry to give you a
turgid
umbrage.
Yes.
I don't even know what that means at all.
But yeah, so what were we talking about?
Well, what I was trying to I was kind of segueing, and you guys had that show.
Yeah.
Tony got her new gig at can we say it?
I don't
Probably
know.
Not.
Don't worry about it.
A national television channel.
Ooh, she just took a deep breath. Where are we?
Icky.
That's their dirge. They tried to make a dirge.
It's like starts in your right ear and then moves to your left and then starts in your right ear again.
That's what I was saying. The stereo separation. There's no.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Tony got a new gig and she contractually could not do a podcast.
Right.
So she started knitting his metal, which I think is just totally fucking cool. The imagery and everything is just fantastic.
Yes,
I love it.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
She's kicking ass. She's taking names.
And one of my favorite things was her, and I gotta remind me to tell her, was the Guy Fieri fucking yarn.
The Guy Fieri yarn was a fantastic night, and
I
cannot wait to tell Flavortown.
Flavortown.
Oh, it was Flavortown all the way. Flavortown all the way, and I have to tell you about this night. She goes, I need to take pictures for our Instagram for our new Flavortown. Okay, for the Flavortown. How are we gonna do that? I'm like, well, you gotta put like cheesy dogs.
She's just shaking her head over here, like realizing how she's not very far into it.
Yeah, no. She goes, we need to get like. I'm like, we need to get like some shitty cheese, fucking chili dogs and hot dogs and
it's like spray cheese.
Yeah, and hamburgers and stuff like that, and put it all around as the background to showcase this yarn, which is based off the colors of Guy Fieri.
Yeah,
you know,
it's like it goes from like black to red to orange to yellow to white
to
so
blonde
it's like,
white. You know, so it's like him wearing one of his flame shirts and his fucking hair,
stupid fucking hair.
So it's like, what's the background of our Guy Fieri themed yarn that has been custom dyed? It's just like, we gotta have a bunch of garbage food. I'm like, garbage food, you had me at hello.
Yeah. It's like, so when can I eat all of this?
Everybody get in the car. I drive over to, I wish she wasn't listening to this so I could ask her. Not Sonic, but Dairy Queen.
Oh, okay.
We drive over to Dairy Queen and just get a bag full of shit.
Fucking slop burger.
Just a bag full of shit. And we bring it home, and I am eating all of it.
I don't know if anybody knows, but Dairy Queen is famous for ice cream.
Yeah.
I remember when Dairy Queen was like, we have food now. And everyone's like, why? And then they're like, well, now we're open all year round. And we're like, why?
Why?
We don't need you.
I'll tell you why.
Dairy Queen used to be open from May until August, and that was it.
Yeah.
No, farther than
The one in Wappingers, they were open like
nitpicking.
They were open like 4 months.
Yeah. But
well,
now,
I think it was if it was warm.
You know what I could go for in January in 0-degree weather with 6 feet of snow on the ground?
A blizzard.
A blizzard.
A blizzard.
Yeah.
A mint
Did you see
blizzard.
the new ad campaign they had running for the blizzards? They physically strapped an actor to the ceiling, and they made the blizzard, and they served it to the person upside down. Because that was the whole thing. You could turn it upside down.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but they strapped some poor bastard to the ceiling to serve it to people. Like, they made a restaurant where the register was on the ceiling, and they handed people blizzards upside down. Yeah.
Genius. I want to be in that fucking marketing meeting where, what if we put this guy upside down on the roof, and then we'll sell more fucking blizzards right there.
What's the budget for this? $49,000 just for the set.
The apparatus.
Yeah. They're like, that sounds great. We've only been in the red for 26 years.
Tony's frantic.
Tony's trying to
find
up.
something else to do.
Like, she's now entering literal clinical depression.
Okay, let's talk about your rings.
Sure.
And then we'll bring Toni back to the show.
All right.
And then she can finish it on her honor. It's just the honor system.
Sounds good.
It's only been 40 minutes. Well, all right, yeah.
I'm saying for the sake of the show.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
We didn't expect her to do 113 minutes on this episode, right?
I was going to let it happen.
That's going to be a 2.5-hour show for us because she didn't start until like 20 minutes in.
Anyhow, so your ring. So like what I was getting at was the podcast fell through. You picked up Blurs and Nerds.
It didn't fall through. They just had to move on.
We just had to move on. Yeah.
What?
Go in. Oh no, it crapped out.
No.
Oh
no, it broke. I don't know what happened. I guess I can't do it.
I guess I gotta go home.
No, I actually don't know what happened.
Uh-oh.
For reals.
Can you turn it up?
Oh, we got
It's gonna be like ding 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 ding. Click this now to watch 30 minutes of free.
Oh man, I might have fucked this up. Sorry.
There's something.
Maybe your internet crapped out.
That's possible.
Yeah, let me pop back on the Wi-Fi because I think it.
Anyhow,
Yeah.
the it didn't fall through. It it got
Yeah, so
this
they
big
just had to
corporation
move on to other things.
Contracts put the kibosh on it.
Right. Yeah.
And so she picked up this, the knitting is metal thing, and then now you have a crafty kind of
Well,
thing.
I'll tell you exactly what happened because I'd like to say this has been always a passion of mine, and this is something I really care deeply about. But that is not the case at all. Here's what happened: Toni is doing all of these cool, table things with knitting is metal, sharing her stuff, and I got jealous, and I'm like, fuck this. I want my own
wow.
goddamn thing. All right. Because, you know me as, by trade, I'm a music producer. And, I chose to become a music producer at the worst time to be a music producer. Because we're a dime a dozen. I could spend 3 hours doing a piece of music for somebody and make $15.
Yeah,
Not worth it to me.
Yeah, it's hard.
Not worth it to me anymore.
Hold on, let's go back into it because she told us to.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah. It's working now. This is fuck.
Yeah, there's.
Turn this shit off.
It's the verse that's just fucking killer.
All right, just raise your hand when it comes
Yeah.
up. Do this when it comes up.
We'll
up, so
immediately
go back
stop
in.
and come back. Yeah.
So if you don't mind, could I see the ring that you made?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. This one's mine. Tony's wearing one as well.
So you turn them. So it's called turning, right?
Turning. Yeah, it's actually wood turning, in which I that one still needs to be finished a little bit. Tony's is a little bit more finished, a little bit more shinier.
So are these promise rings? Would you consider them promise rings?
I would consider them products that I could sell for a profit.
You're not pre-engaged?
We're not pre-engaged. These are basically they're a walnut burl veneer, which is, if anybody has ever seen, like, you ever seen one of those trees with one of those giant tumors on the side?
Yes.
That's a
Walnut tree.
That's a burl.
Oh, that's
At
a burl.
Toyota, like the burl wood.
Oh, they're doing like row your boat, and then just like
It sounds like a really, really,
round.
really, really shitty Shadow Witch song. It sounds like Shadow Witch just took one of their songs and you just mix this however you want.
That's
Yeah, this is
terrible. Why
super
would you
cool.
say that?
No, because I'm saying
Thank you.
I know what you mean.
It sounds like they took one of their good songs and made it shitty. And we're talking about a local band that is better than Metallica.
For sure. If you've never listened to Shadow Witch,
Yeah.
take a listen.
They
So
are the shit.
So Tony's was made. There's guitar pick to it.
Yes, both of these. They have a guitar pick core. It's basically the same material that they make guitar picks out of. You can buy it in sheets, and a lot of people have these like guitar pick hole punches. You can buy that out. I said, screw that. Let me just use it as the core.
How do you? And so walk us through the process of that.
So the process is first you get a sheet of the veneer. Okay, walnut burl and stuff like that. The burls are very, very expensive, very sought after because they have very odd and tight grain.
Okay.
So if I were making, just using regular walnut, the tree part, I can make a very nice table out of that. But something as small as a ring, you're not going to be able to see the individual rings.
Okay, so
in it.
it's for smaller details.
So for the smaller details, I use a burl.
Okay.
Okay, it's a burl veneer, which means it comes in basically a sheet. All right, I cut that out. I wrap it into a circle. I steam it. Get it all nice and wet. It actually dries in that way. Yep, get it all nice and wet. It dries like that in a circle. Then I cut out a strip of basically this plectrum material. Plectrum.
Sure.
Glue it all together. It's called wood stabilizing, in which you soak either some sort of resin or, in my case, super glue into the wood.
Super glue is a resin.
So is it?
Okay. Yeah.
It's called CA glue. Anyway,
Yeah.
the whole thing just becomes basically this giant ring rock that then I need to put on a lathe and shape into a ring.
Okay. See, I got.
So you're laminating things together to create something like a solid thing, and then you're putting it on a lathe and spinning.
So
it.
what I do is when I have the sheet, I cut a giant strip about the thickness. That's okay.
He just drops.
I
it,
can make
breaks
more.
it, Everything's fine.
I cut a giant strip.
He's really bad with rings. Do not. You should take that away from him immediately. That's his 6th or 7th wedding ring.
Yeah, I will say that Tony's is a little bit better. I did work a little bit harder.
We need to just point out again. Stop giving him that.
Right.
So here,
It doesn't fit on my thumb.
Give it.
See that?
Let me. You need to stop
See,
touching.
now I don't know where it went.
You need to stop
Tony's
touching.
is a little bit more
Okay,
finished.
so Mike and I, you were
That's
on your
perfect.
right
My ring
hand.
finger.
Mike and I are the same size.
Right.
Right. Ryan can't fit it will fall off his thumb. This is when I put it on my thumb.
Right.
And Ryan, it's like when he puts it when I put it on my pinky, and then I just dropped it.
Yeah. It's not so. They're slippery.
I didn't drop it 7 times. So Ryan's thumb is smaller than the circumference of my pinky because this kind of fits.
No.
Yeah, I got tiny fingers. I got
Small
guitar
hands.
player.
You do have guitar player's hands. I'm jealous.
Yeah. It looks great. See, I had a wooden ring that Brooke got me. Just thought it was cool because I lost my. Wait, which one was that? I lost the first one. I got a replacement. I lost that. And
You
she got
lost
the wood one.
No, you lost. I think you lost the first one, and then you got a tungsten one, and it turned like fucking shit brown.
No. That was the one.
That was the one.
Yeah, I got chemicals on it and just it just
Tungsten will do
just
that.
disintegrated everything on it. I ended up losing that one in the yard. And then I got a wooden one.
Because of his dainty fingers.
I got a wooden one and a titanium one. And the titanium one was my nice ring, and the wooden one was the one I wore to work. But it was so fat. The wood was so fat on it that it would spread my fingers apart.
Right.
So way later, after I lost the titanium one, and I got this as this was $10 at a flea market, and the other one was $10. The other one that I have is $10 that I got on that Brooke got on eBay or some shit. I found the wooden one again, and I just put it on I just turned on my belt sander and I shaved it down, so it was thin and it looked good. It came out great. But when I was in Europe, I must have banged it or something because it came off. It fit my finger very. She just made it. Hold on.
Shoot me again, I ain't dead yet.
Turn
Wow!
Wow.
God, Metallica sucks.
This album they do.
When I was in Germany, it fit very well. When I was in Germany, I noticed there was a slight crack in it, and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna have to fix this when I get home, or whatever." And all of a sudden, on the train, I just looked down and it was gone. I was like, "Oh shit!" Well, there's that.
Yeah.
So,
Just
but
cracked in
there
half.
was nothing to it. It was just a hunk of koa wood.
Yeah. So that's why I reinforce it with the core of the
This is stabilize it and make it stronger.
It makes it stronger, yeah, because the walnut burl, it will crack. I mean, the finish is supposed to, that one that she's wearing is actually just super glue that covers the whole thing. This one is actually a UV resin, so I actually have a one of those UV lights that the ladies put their fingers in.
Okay.
And I just set that up right and put the ring in so the UV hardens it and cures it. It's hard as construction hat
I definitely like that you're doing this kind of I'm just gonna do it. And you're doing kind of like a DIY.
I was just I'm jealous that I don't have anything physical to make and can't have a table because I'm jealous of my goddamn girlfriend with her knitting is metal. So I'm just I'm seeing her doing all these knitting, cool knitting things and knitting tables and stuff like that, and me as my creative outlet being a music producer, it's all online and computer based.
Sounds like butt sex with Fred Durst. It's fucking horrible.
I'm stranded in a soul with a bullet in my back.
Adam's face. Holy shit.
I've never heard
I
that.
hope that was caught on camera.
Fucking horrible.
Oh!
This is fucking bullshit. Who the fuck greenlit this? This is ridiculous.
I hope you know I'm gonna still be paying for this after you guys are long gone.
That's really bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've never heard
man.
that. I've never heard any song off this album aside from maybe something they played on MTV. But in any case, it's cool to make stuff. I enjoy making stuff and having something physical.
Right.
And,
So
it's a good outlet.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I got fucking jealous of her because all my customers were online and sending them files and stuff like that. Like, hey, I need this. I need intro music for a podcast, or I need I'm doing a commercial. And that was good and rewarding. But I liked. I'm a very personable person. I like meeting people. And not just one-on-one client base. She is setting up a table at Darkside, and I had to watch it while she went to the bathroom. And in those 5 minutes, I'm having a great time wheeling and dealing with people talking about, I don't know about knitting. She's the knitter, you know? And people are asking me these questions. So I'm like, I got to come up with something. So
I think I've speaking to that in a way, I think Creator Fest has given me kind of like a real big boost in confidence as to what this show is and what.
Yeah, that we're actually making shit.
Yeah, that we're actually
doing
like accomplishing something. It's a
Right.
sense of accomplishment, and when you have that sense of accomplishment, it's just like I've been like I'm walking on air, as
That's
Eugene
the
Levy
funny
said
thing.
in Waiting for Guffman.
It's so funny how opposite we are about that. Because now for me, it's like, well, that's over now. Like, I'm not even thinking about what we've accomplished. I'm going, we need to work on next year now.
Yeah.
And you're like, ugh, can you give me fucking 2 weeks?
Yeah. Give me,
Yeah.
let me fucking breathe.
He was like, how good do you feel? I was like, I feel fucking tired.
See, but you guys play off each other.
Yeah.
I mean, that I would say is our biggest, Tony and I's biggest, thing that we have in common is we're both creators and we constantly want to be producing something and making something, even if nobody sees it. It's something that we're both doing and something that we both have passion for. So
if we weren't able to make shit without people not looking at it, this show would not exist.
Yeah.
We need to be okay. Okay, so 6 people checked it out. It's better than 3.
Right, yeah, exactly. That's all we need.
But
but it's good that you guys kind of have that,
Yeah.
and I think that it's a cool idea. And like I was looking into wooden rings. Like Amy and I have been talking about getting married for a while, and the wooden rings are really cool. And then she found ones that have like dinosaur bones in them, and it seems like the best ones have like some sort of an inlay that kind of holds it together. A lot of them have a gold inlay, or a silver inlay.
I'm working right now on a azul blue inlay. Which I'm very excited to hopefully make as soon as that comes in. It's ordered. I have to wait for that to come in.
Zool Blue,
Yeah.
named after Zool from
The
No,
blue
azul,
Yes.
as in the color. of
Azul,
blue.
yeah, blue like
Not
like a
named
blue
after
opal.
anything. It's just a color.
Like blue opal.
He's just
I'm just reaching. That's all I'm doing.
Trying to make movie references.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
All right. Do you wanna let her off the hook?
Yeah, I gotta stop now.
Yeah.
that fucking song.
What song was that? Sweet
Let's-
Amber?
Shoot
Me Again? Okay.
It's
Okay,
7
so,
minutes long.
So she is. So
I'll get back to it. I
No,
can't
no,
do
no.
this.
I think
no,
I think you're done for tonight.
For
because
tonight.
we're
Yeah.
at 121. I want to do a couple. I want to do some more with you, so
Yeah,
you
I
can
would
join the
love to.
conversation.
Yeah. So let's
Maybe a
let's
week past.
unplug your phone. Let's get your headphones back
Okay.
in.
Okay.
She's angrily knitting right
I'm
now,
so-
which I've
I'm doing
seen.
good, too.
I've seen before.
Fuck me.
So yeah, unplug your phone.
So she's
go
on
back into the
track 7. All right, there's only 11 songs, but like I said, they're
they're
all
10
over
minutes.
5 minutes long.
Yeah.
She was on "Shoot Me Again," which is 7 minutes and 10 seconds. That was that garbage that we just listened to.
Oh,
It's
so bad.
7 minutes long.
I listened to 6 seconds of that. And it's one of the worst songs I've ever heard.
She still has to listen to "Sweet Amber," "The Unnamed Feeling," "Purify," and "All Within My Hands." "All Within My Hands," the longest track on the album, which is the last at 8 minutes and 48 seconds. Who the fuck do these guys think they
Hearing
are?
us
Every
now?
single track could have
thank
been
you.
Yeah.
could have been a minute or two.
You want to know?
8
All they
minutes
needed
long.
to do was shave down 13 or 14 or all the tracks.
That
off
is
the
not
album.
all they needed to do. There was a lot of mistakes they needed to make up for, but
All right, so let's take a quick break and
Yeah.
play some good music while
Yeah.
we're doing
Because
that.
I'm sure everyone has to pee at this point.
Yes.
Yes.
I need a cigarette.
yeah.
Yeah. So let's take an actual break, and we will come back and just plug the shit out of what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Where are we at? We got to be at least.
misclicked.
Oh, we're over an hour, yeah.
We're at 122, but that's
Okay.
fine because
Yeah.
we're a long form podcast, so we can do this kind of nonsense. So let's listen to. I'm just gonna shuffle a bunch of stuff from, just all the bands that have come on this show
Yeah.
before.
Why do you keep playing Francis Dean?
I just hit shuffle. That's all it was.
So
was
it's
shuffle.
fine. We love their music. It's fine. But they've broken up.
Yeah. Rest
So,
in peace.
Yeah. I was really hoping to have audio from Creator Fest ready for tonight, but that was just not feasible with our schedule. So
We'll get in-
next week we'll have some live audio from Creator Fest, hopefully.
Yeah. All right. So we'll be right back. Enjoy Francis Dean and others.
So much better.
I wanna say that if I had another day day I'd find her and figure it out. I don't know how she came, said what she said, walked straight out my door. And she came and she gave it all away. She's not here anymore. Oh yeah, she's 9 months out of life. Yeah, 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 she's 10 years out of time. I don't know. And then one day she sat out in the rain, trying to bleed her conscience out. Or you could say she was looking for a way to try to calm her sadness down. And please wait, I swear to God it's not too late, and if you try we could save it somehow, babe. I wanna say that if I had another day I'd find her and figure it out. I don't know how she came, said what she said, walked straight out my door. And then she came and she gave it all away. She's not here anymore. Oh yeah, she's 9 months out of life. Yeah, 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 she's 10 years out of time. I don't know. Name was May, she was plain insane, and she just kept walking around. I wanna stay, I wanna make it all okay, but she said it's too late for that now. And please wait, I swear to God it's not too late, and if you try we can save it somehow, babe. I wanna say that if I had another day I'd find you and figure it out. I don't know, and then she came, said what she said, walked straight out my door. And then she came and she gave it all away. She's not here anymore. Oh yeah, she's 9 months out of life. Yeah, 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 she's 10 years out of time. Oh yeah, she's 9 months out of life. Yeah, 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 she's 10 years out of time. I don't know.
Watching and waiting, I stand outside myself. Like rolling thunder, bring on the pain. The night sky crumbles with the sound of your name. Restless and impatient, an impetuous game. Woke up to a scream of broken dreams. A pitch black sunrise in my sky. Wounded droplets of a martyr's tears. Stains my blood, my bloodshot eyes. I don't receive, death is tough, but still I bleed. When it's gone, but yet I breathe. The rights of spray
I shouldn't bother. You're probably sleeping. Get good control. Constantly weeping when I'm told that I was just dreaming. My veins explode. My heart is.
But what is most important is the way that we can play and say the things that we feel are important every day. So let's talk about the things we sometimes feel inside.
They're just talking, I don't care. They're much taller, it's not fair. She looks too good, it's not fair, not fair. Bye-bye, dead sheep, I don't care. Painted pictures, it's not fair. California, it's not fair, not fair. Michael Jordan's, I don't care. They've got new clothes, it's not fair. Girls just like him, it's not fair, not fair.
I swore one day I would take your heart the way you took mine.
Last night I thought I would see you, but I got a little caught up. The whole night went by, I thought of you. And what we
I'm Nick.
I'm Sean.
And I swear to God, we have a drummer. We're Pitch Black Sunrise.
And this is Dead Radio Podcast.
Big thanks to all the bands at Creator Fest.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
Pitch Black Sunrise, big supporter of this show. And Andy Reid's a huge fan of them now.
Yeah.
He thought they were fucking great. And they really were. But he was... I'm not going to do his accent. I'm too drunk to even attempt it.
You're doing my knobber in your ball bag.
You're doing my knobber in your ball bag.
Oh, I got to get rid of this song. I have too much shit.
Yeah.
We'll try this here.
You're doing my knobber in your ball bag.
That's English. I don't
Scottish
really know.
phrase. Here, can you guys tell me what this sounds like?
You're doing my knobber in your ball bag.
In English. What is it?
You're doing my knobber in your ball bag.
Something about your knob in your ball bag?
You're David, referring to Matt Damon, of course. You're Damon, not in your ball bag. Because you want
my knobber in your ball bag.
You want Matt Damon in your ball bag. That's if I've learned anything from the Scottish people, you want Matt Damon in your ball bag.
Yeah.
Here's
and
the
you're
thing.
not.
You're my knobber in your ball bag.
What is he saying?
He's saying you're doing nothing for me, you
You're
ball
doing
bag.
me nothing, you ball bag.
Meaning like you're just
Get the fuck out of
get
here.
away
Stop
from me, you're
talking.
worthless.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic phrase. I want to use it.
I like my version.
I
better.
spent probably, let's say, 5 minutes trying to get a girl who was talking somebody from Pitch Black. I think it was his girlfriend or something. She was saying how great Andy was.
Probably wife.
Probably
One of
wife.
them.
I don't know.
Whatever.
They're
Anyway.
they're
Doesn't
old,
matter.
they're
Doesn't
old fucks like us. So she was saying how great Andy was, and she liked his accent. I was like, I will pay you money if you learn this phrase and go say it to him. And she just couldn't get it down.
Yeah,
and
it's impossible.
I spent 5 minutes trying to teach her the phrase. She got pretty close. She just wasn't. It was a confidence level thing.
Here's the fun thing. I had a Scottish couple staying with us for the weekend in our Airbnb. I can understand them perfectly. Perfectly.
just
I
depends
had
on where
no
you're from.
questions.
Yeah.
Him, I can barely understand him most of the time. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I see him all the time and I'm like, what did you just say to me?
and that's I used to work with a guy who was Jamaican and very, very Jamaican. And it was not a cool running Jamaican accent.
It all depends
thick.
on at what point you move to this country, I think.
But here's the other thing too with Jamaican. I worked with a crew of Jamaicans. With my dad had a bunch of guys, and they all like knew each other and everything like that. But he had a crew of those guys working with him for the bread distribution business that he had, and they're all fucking really cool guys. But when they got like separately, I could pick up their accents and everything. But together, it changed.
Yeah, it gets crazy.
Like it gets really deep, and I'm like, hey, there's just no way. It's just slop. It's just mush mouth slop.
I worked with a guy at Mercedes who he moved here when he was like 17 or 18, something like that, and he was fine. You could understand everything he was saying, slight Jamaican accent, and then he'd put his finger up as you were talking to him, and he clicked the Bluetooth that was in his ear, and bang, he was in Jamaica again.
Yeah.
And you couldn't understand a goddamn word he was saying. But it was just like, he's in the middle of working, and you're talking to him about work, and he just put his finger up and click this, and then just start speaking in a heavy Jamaican accent and walk the fuck away.
Well, that's the problem. Like I've worked with, obviously people who speak a different language and stuff like that, and it's like you can meet in the middle and learn a little. Like I've learned a little Spanglish for the people who I work with who are Spanish. The problem with people from Scotland, people from Jamaica, they think they're speaking English.
Yeah.
There's no language barrier
you
can
get
over.
Dialect of English.
Yeah, there's no language barrier you can get over because you supposedly speak the same language.
Yeah. So, anyway, excuse me. I switched to Down East Cider, and the bubbles are getting to me. So Toni is 7 full songs in.
She
7
fucking
full
tapped
tracks.
out.
I couldn't do it anymore. Like the beginning sucks, and you can like tolerate it for a little bit. That last song was 7. Each fucking track is like 5 to 7 minutes long.
We've been saying, like, while you were listening, I'm like, I looked it up. every song is at least 5 minutes long.
It's a garage band album. Like, they're supposed to be 2-minute fucking punk songs.
Yeah, fuck yeah. The last song is 8 minutes and
Oh,
48.
fuck this.
So you got to dig in for that fucking thing. We'll give you a reprieve
Yeah, you
for the
need
sake of the
you
show.
need a
And
couple of fucking Quaaludes and a bottle
Yeah.
of champagne. You'll get through it. You're fine.
Pop a few
You should
Molly.
just do it in a hammock.
Yeah.
Do it in a hammock so you can't hurt yourself.
I have a hammock. We can make this happen.
It's be so uncomfortable the whole time. Just no, stop.
Just definitely don't do it above like the 3rd floor of a building.
Of course, of course.
You know,
So you still have 4 tracks to go.
Yes.
And you have to go back through.
And you got to listen
it
to
again.
the first 4
Again.
tracks again.
Yeah.
Well, whatever keeps me away from track fucking 7. That was the worst shit I've ever heard.
That's supposed to be the best song on every fucking album.
Track
Right?
7. Yeah.
I name my photography studio because track 7 in 90s albums
Was always
tends
the
to be
best.
really goddamn good.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a crescendo of many albums.
Track 1, track 3, track 7.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, I
Always
named my
killer.
company after that. Track 7 Studios is
Yeah.
named after that.
Well,
Because track 7 is
But it's
usually
only
really
Metallica
awesome.
It's
didn't-
only appropriate that one of the worst songs on the album is track 7
Right,
on,
yeah.
on St. Anger.
How many times did you guys pop in?
A bunch.
Oh,
Yeah.
Every
great.
time
I
you're
can't
like,
wait to
Every
hear
time
it.
we pointed and laughed, that was
Oh,
it.
fair enough.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
had a couple eye rolls where we just
Yeah.
like I
We
threw it
gotta
up.
see what's
Like we
going on.
couldn't not understand what you were going through at that moment. They were like,
But
we were very happy when you had a reaction to my dog is named after a pedophile because you're gonna have to listen back to the show because
I'm
I
actually
don't
very
even remember the
excited.
reference.
it's yeah, listen back. Fuck
Okay,
it.
fair.
Fuck everyone. Listen back. We were also talking about talking about Max Rings and everything like that, and knitting his metal and kind of the creative. The light creative competition that you
He
guys
felt
had.
kinda
inadequate as a man.
I
and as a
did.
Ah,
creator.
Exactly
you
what
know what?
happened.
He's told me. He's told
Yeah.
me. No, he made it very clear. He was like, "I am jealous of you." I'm like, "Okay." So I was like, "Go ahead, do
Fucking
what
make
you want."
stuff, dude.
And I said I will fucking make stuff.
Yeah.
You'll see.
I will make stuff.
And that's my
Bitch.
origin story. that's
my origin
Bitch.
story.
I will make stuff.
You just made anger rings. I love it.
So yeah.
So if anybody
make,
would like
so
the-
make about 200 to 300 more, and
Yeah.
then you can have a booth anywhere you'd like.
There
but
we go.
with just the 2, you got
Yeah.
some work ahead.
I
of you.
still got some work ahead of me, sure.
He's got this giant booth. He's got banners and everything.
He
He's
puts
just
my
got
ring.
Two
Yeah.
fucking rings in their
I'll get you.
office finger.
my
I'll
ring.
get you. I'll get you our
This is
banner
what your
guy.
ring
That would
could
be really
look like.
funny.
That
Just
would be
it's just
hilarious.
like it's
This
like
is
that.
the most exclusive
It's like
ring.
that plastic gray 8-foot table. And you just got 2 rings in the middle of it, and they're like, "What do you do?" I do this. People are like,
No
like,
box, nothing.
yeah,
It's
they're just like,
sitting
"How's
on
it
the
going?"
table.
So what do you do? And he's like, "I do this right here."
One size.
Yeah.
So first, not only do I have to find somebody interested, I also have to find somebody who's interested and has the same ring size as the ones I've made.
And you're like, "You actually can't have this one
You
because
can't have
this is
this
my
one."
girlfriend's, but I'll sell you this one."
That's funny shit. My favorite, one. We were talking about it, but I wanted to get your kind of like your side of it. The Flavor Town yarn was one of my favorite things in the world to
I
see.
did not
like,
sell as many as I hoped. I'm
oh
sorry to
my
say.
god! I was like, and that's what I tell people when like, because I wear the shirt, the knitting is metal
Oh,
shirt.
thank you.
And people ask me, "Oh, it's a cool shirt. What is it?" I'm like, "Oh, it's my friend's business."
You obviously
She's-
can't read it because
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
metal.
It's
and-
death metal.
It's
Yeah.
metal as fuck, so you can't read it. Yeah.
Oh, and the new one with the skeleton.
Yeah, I wanted to
that's
grab you
great,
guys once I
man.
needed your
love
size.
that.
I have them in my car, so
Oh yeah.
just tell me your
So
size and I'll give
right
them to
now
you.
I'm like a 2X to an XL depending.
Sure.
And he's a medium.
Perfect.
Sure am.
I'll snag them
He's
before I
very
leave tonight.
svelte.
Svelte.
But that was like when I saw that on Instagram, I was like, look at this is amazing. And I just like showed everybody. I'm like, this is hilarious. And whenever anybody asks me about it, I was like, oh, she does custom yarn and everything. She's got this one, it's called Flavor Town. It's based off of Guy Fieri's just everything.
So the lady who I have this awesome vendor whose name is Dyes Cast Yarns, and I basically have her come up with everything.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Get it? Dye is cast, dyeing yards. Very tongue in cheek.
Oh shit, a little bit of
So I went to her. I'm like, hey, I got an idea. I was like, would you do a Guy Fieri colorway for me? She's like, I don't know what the fuck that means, but sure. So we tried a few different ones, and then the one that really popped was the one with the ass end that was just completely yellow, like his hair, like his
yeah.
stupid
It
hair.
was like a white yellow kind of
One
like,
that didn't
A
get
bleached
done.
blonde.
Yeah. One that didn't get didn't make the cut was she had painted flames throughout it, like these colors that would have kind of looked like flames. But the problem was it'd be really hard to recreate.
Yeah.
So I have the sample at home, which I'm gonna fucking use. I'm so excited about it. But yeah, I thought Flavortown would do a little better. Truth be told, those colors are ridiculous together.
Was it black, red, orange?
Black, red, orange, and
yellow,
neon
and like
yellow.
As long as I get to eat chili dogs again,
What does that
I'm
look
in.
like when it's,
Yeah.
when
I
it's
am
like
in.
knitted together? What does it look like?
It kind of has a little bit of like a bumblebee stripe through it
Yeah.
with some like kind of amalgam of red. I'm not gonna lie. When it knits up, it's not gonna be your favorite yarn, but it was more the novelty of it. that I
Sure.
thought
I'm
was
just
cute.
I'm picturing it like
think
when
I
they
have a
when they
picture.
dye it.
can
Yeah, you
probably
can pull
find
it
it.
up. So when you dye it, like you're dyeing it in a kind of a big clump, probably.
So when she does her dyeing, she usually does do it in like a big mass production. She'll have the pots all set up, and then she'll do the dipping. With the Guy Fieri one, the first one was hand painted, and hand painting takes a lot more time. It just wasn't going to come out feasible because it would be way more expensive, and like how much will you pay for something that's funny?
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
the reason we don't have Dead Radio leggings yet.
Right. Well, I buy those. Wait a minute.
They're
Yeah,
like,
here it is.
They're gonna be like $40.
Nope, not that funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, there
Here
it
it is
is.
up on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's got that
it's-
fiery
it's-
pink
yeah,
in
It's
there.
just his shirt.
It's his
It's his shirt, yeah.
It's definitely like
his
like
shirt and
I
his
can
hair.
see this. I can see like the lay person going, "That's fucking hilarious." But
Yeah.
then once I start to think about when you start to lay that out into a pattern, it's gonna turn into, like you said, like this weird
Actually,
bumblebee.
it's right there.
striping
You can see it if you close that out and then go down a little bit. Yeah, right
Yeah.
there.
This one?
That's kind of what it comes out to. So
Oh,
it's
it looks pretty fucking cool, though.
It does look cool.
it's cool in
Yeah.
small doses. If you
Now-
work with that too much, your eyes are gonna blow.
Now, if you can go to just the previous picture.
Oh,
one
of
to
our-
the
our
left.
chili dogs?
No. There you go.
Oh, my
If
God.
you're wondering what had happened to those, that
Oh,
chili
I'm not
dogs,
wondering.
it
I
went
know
right
what
in your
happened.
tummy.
I'm currently using it as energy.
Still.
It's been living inside
It's
you.
all around me.
I've got probably 2 to 3 inches of that hot dog lodged in my heart right now.
Yeah, we went to fucking. Where
so
did we go?
funny. That's
D-
really
DQ.
funny.
I
We
think
talked
it was
about it.
fucking
Yeah, we
awful.
went
Yeah,
to
we
DQ.
no wait, go back up. This is the great picture.
Yeah.
Flavortown sock yarn.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the great picture right
Thank
there.
you.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
I ate that shit happily.
Yeah.
I got.
Yeah, we talked about the whole story about Dairy
Okay.
Queen and about how Dairy
Yeah.
Queen shouldn't be serving burgers and fries.
Oh, it was fucking.
Yeah.
It was offensive.
Yeah, but I love it.
Oh, thank
I
you.
love
I'm gonna
what you
try
guys
and
are
come up
doing.
with some more silly ones, but that will actually make something interesting
Yeah,
and something
yeah.
you'd actually want to use.
So
pretty
one thing I did want to ask you about
Sure.
was, would you be willing to make like Dead Radio beanies?
Yeah, we could talk
All I
about that.
want would be just a very simple black and white.
Okay,
Whatever pattern it comes out would be fine, and then I want to put a patch on the front.
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
For your logo, you would
Yeah.
need to do a
Oh,
patch.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
Um,
we have this kind of like, we've kind of stuck to like this very simple black and white, and that's kind of our branding.
Totally.
So if you had like this stark black and white,
yeah.
and I don't know how knitting works, but if you could do that, I'm sure that
We'll
yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me some ideas of what you
Yeah.
have in mind, and I
I
can
would-
tell you what's realistic.
Yeah, I would love to just see a beanie with just like a simple black and white, either a pattern or just like two different.
So what I
um,
could probably
yeah.
do is like a helix knit where it's going to basically blend from black to white, black to white. So it's
That would
almost
be-
going to
yeah.
look kind of like Jack Skellington, black
Yeah.
white.
Yeah,
That could
I would,
be really
I would
cool.
like that, and then just sew a Dead Radio patch in the front.
Fuck yeah, we could definitely do that.
I mean, like, I wouldn't mind a pair of these for myself in Dead Radio colors.
Yeah.
Crocheted shorts for men.
Yeah.
Oh
I've
my
got
Because
some
that's a-
crocheters
'cause
who
that's the
might
thing.
line
no,
up to
click
do
on
this.
that picture because that we're gonna recreate that picture if we
Oh
get these.
my god.
Yeah. Just type in crocheted shorts men, and
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So
Because
you-
we definitely need to recreate that
That's gonna
picture,
be
that
itchy.
side by side with Bosch's fucking dad body.
I can
Yeah.
I can kind of I can kind of deal with itchy.
No, and this
it's
one's
how
nice.
fucking
Look at the
hot
this. Like, how is that guy comfortable? He's in a swamp.
All I think is just the heat that's coming in, like
Yeah.
the ball soup that you're making in those
Yeah.
fucking shorts. We've talked about this on
Look
the
at
show
him
before.
throwing the booty out.
What are
Yeah,
they
he's
doing?
twerking. Let him twerk.
Yeah.
Let the boy twerk.
Oh man.
Did
Yeah,
you guys
you're
know
gonna be
this
sweating.
this app Wish.com?
Wish.com's the shit.
Yeah.
fucking love
For
it
some
now.
things. Look,
For
I
some
got
things.
these.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Well, while he's getting that, they suggest things that you should buy, and I don't know what the hell I searched to make them think.
So these are for safety.
Stop it. Stop it.
These are $1.
May I?
They're $1.
Yeah.
And
so they're just neon green light up balls
for $1.
I use them every time I ride my skateboard at night.
Yeah.
I have
Where do you hang
I have
them?
3 or 4 of them. I just hang them off my bag.
Oh, okay.
So people can see.
So
Yeah.
for
he has balls He has balls
Hold on,
hanging
wait.
off of his
No, I have
bag
to- I have
all
to
the
really get
time.
Ball bag. Or
And,
I can't do
and
the
my
accent.
sexuality is questioned constantly.
This is just a simple fiscal choice.
Yeah.
If they made just a round one for $1, that would be what I went. I got these as a joke for Amy,
Yeah.
and I was like, these are perfect
For skateboarding at night.
because the battery is more expensive.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So just get a bunch of them, and then you're safe.
Yeah.
You don't get hit
So-
by
Make a
cars.
bouquet.
So my wish.com suggestion was a set of multicolored mesh see-through shorts.
Nice.
You got
for
them,
$1.
right? Yeah,
Did you get them?
Yeah.
I want to get them so bad.
should.
What
You
are you
should
doing?
get $1.
Get them.
get them.
Come
I
on,
just-
man. Stop being such a fucking baby.
All right.
And get some see-through fucking underwear.
Yes.
God damn
See,
it.
now she's into it.
It's gonna be 3 months from now. You'll get
Yeah,
them.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's it'll
It's
be
$1
August.
and $8.99 shipping.
Yeah.
And it's gonna take 3 to 6 months for you to get it.
Mhm.
Some of the ones that have free shipping, it's like a year later. And
Yeah.
you get a package.
Still
You're like, what
waiting
the
on
fuck
shipping.
is this?
News. Breaking news. I just got an email confirmation that Brooke has purchased our weekend tickets to DragCon in New York City.
What?
I'm going to come back with fucking stories.
I'm excited for you. I want to
Wear
go.
those shorts.
And we got tickets
gonna-
to Slayer like a chump.
Are you going to see Slayer?
I am.
That
Yeah.
was my
Yeah.
Valentine's Day
Is it a
present.
farewell tour? Or?
Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
last one.
Oh, man.
That was my Valentine's Day present. I got her a card and everything, and it said, "Roses are red. You best say a prayer, because for Valentine's Day we're going to see Slayer."
I would probably see that show if somebody was just like, "Hey, I got tickets to Slayer," and I'd be
So-
like, "I'd
Yeah.
go,"
My
'cause just to
confession
see
is-
him, leave.
I don't really like Slayer.
Duh.
Wait. But everybody else who's playing is fucking awesome. It's
Yeah.
going to be Testament, Behemoth, Lamb of God, I
Lamb of
believe,
God,
and
yeah.
Anthrax.
Wow.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a
Hell of a
fucking
bill.
monster show.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
going to die. We're in the grass.
And my
Some
boss is
fucking
also going. So that's
Early
gonna be cool.
'90s thrash party.
Yeah.
God damn, there's gonna be some fucking scary fucking dudes at that show.
See, what
All
sucks,
dudes.
It's PNC Bank Center, which I went there for Ozfest when I was a
I've
kid.
been there. I went there for Lollapalooza. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, the grass. We're going to be in the grass area, but then they have the seating. The seating's where all the old people are going to be, and they're going to be enjoying their music from the '90s.
Yeah.
We're going to be in the grass with the fucking monsters.
Yeah, we are gonna be in it. I kind of want to like Christiana Amanpour the shit out of this war zone that we're about to go into.
We're gonna die. I'm old. I can't
Yeah.
do it anymore.
I'm 32. I used to mosh.
Yeah,
but-
me too.
I was just talking about moshing today, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like I would be just as good as moshing as I was then. I'd just be like more efficient.
It's not
'Cause
that.
I'd just be like picking people that I don't want to touch me, and
It's
then
not
I
that.
think I know where you're going with this.
You're gonna be so fucking sore the next day.
Oh, for sure.
It hurts so
Yeah.
bad the next day.
I was talking about how it changed. Like there was this
We were
moment
just talking
where-
about this yesterday.
Yeah. It went from like slam dancing,
Yeah.
from England, where it was just a fun, just bashing into each
Yeah.
other, getting out some aggression. It's like we go to clutch shows and there's like pits and everything. Guy falls
It's
down,
still good.
everybody
Yeah.
stops, they pick him
Yeah.
up, everybody's
Yeah.
happy. They're like hugging and shit. Like it's a fun.
Yeah,
just
you
like
get a
just-
guy like, dude, I saved your beer, and he gives it
Yeah.
back
Yeah,
to
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then came the
Sorry.
that like hardcore fucking windmill flailing shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you're just like, oh, so this isn't fun anymore because you're not trying to
Yeah.
punch me in the face.
Young
you just
people
don't
have
care.
ruined it.
You just
Yeah.
don't care
It's
if
true.
you hit me in the face And it's happened to me a bunch of times, and I've had to correct the situation.
It sucks. It completely sucks. We just went to a show recently. It was this band called Breathtaker, and like they evidently had this hardcore following. And this fucking kid like came up and was legit squaring up to deck me in the face, and I'm just giving deer in headlights face. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
And then you had a chick fucking deck
Who
you.
did deck me?
And you can't do
I
anything
hate
about
that.
it.
I
Yep.
hate that chick. I hate that chick. I see her at every fucking show. Okay, in some form or another. That chick. I'm a girl. I have carte blanche. I can fucking just throw punches at you. And I'm just like, no, don't throw a punch at me. I don't like that.
Please, no.
And it's
I'd
just like,
prefer it if you didn't
and
do
it's
that.
not. It's not even people in the pit. It's people on the
She's
outside.
just walking around
Just
punching
walking
people in the head.
punching people in the head.
Fucking psychopath.
So I push her back.
Yeah,
you know what?
that's,
Yeah.
You got to be careful.
You got to be careful. You know, but it's just like,
I mean, I feel like if a chick punches you in the face, you should be able to defend yourself. But you're at a show. If the security guard didn't see all of it,
right,
you're getting kicked out. So that's what's
Let's,
going to happen.
Real quick here, let's listen to Breathtaker here.
Are
so
they signed?
Breathtaker was a cool ass hardcore band back way back in the day. Local band. They didn't do anything, you know.
I didn't go to the show for
Are
Breathtaker.
they from Chicago?
No, they're a local band.
No.
They don't really have any
You just
shit
have the wrong
online.
band.
Oh,
You might have the wrong band.
This feels like old school Dead Radio podcast where we just didn't care and then we just got all kinds of flags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now that
So-
we're not monetized anymore,
Yeah,
it doesn't
but
matter.
no, it does matter.
Yeah, you can still get pulled.
It does matter
All
because
right.
Metallica can say, "Yes, we're pulling them," and you get
No, it's
5
definitely not it.
strikes, and they take down your whole channel.
Yeah.
Oh well. Anyway,
We're fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
That was not them, but
It
That was a
sucked. It
different
wasn't very
band.
good.
but it was better than Saint Anger.
Everything's better.
For sure.
These are
I've never
better
heard
than
anything
Saint
that
Anger.
bad. Yeah, balls.
Balls are better than Saint Anger.
So, are you going to be at the? I don't know. Maybe not. Dark Side Bazaar.
I will. Yep, I'll
you
be
will
there.
be.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
will
We're
we.
gonna be there too.
Awesome.
We're going to be
Great.
selling the 400, and that's not a fucking That's not me misspeaking. 400 bottles of water that we have left over from the event because all the water was coming from the sky at Creator
So no one
Fest.
needed it.
So no one needed it. All they had to do was just
So-
open their mouth.
Yeah. So we're kind of
We're going to be
like I want to emphasize that this was not a failure. We made over $1,000 for the
for charity on
great.
on a horrible rainy day that was threatening thunderstorms. We had
Like we've been talking about shutting it down for the last 3 or 4 hours. Like it barely happened to its
Yeah.
full extent.
Right.
it was just like the moment I
So-
see lightning, we got to pull the plug
Yeah.
because this is like stretching. I was like covering all the fucking electrical. It was really tough, but I think it succeeded.
To be honest,
Couple
to
of the
make
vendors-
to make a grand on a sunny day was better than we expected to make when we first decided to do this. And almost every vendor showed up.
Yeah.
We only lost 2 or 3 because of the weather, and that's fine. That was to be expected. But to have 24 vendors show up on a day that it was going to rain
That's
all
awesome.
fucking day,
yeah.
and a bunch of them, a bunch of vendors. It was the cold pressed sunflower oil, the cold pressed oils people who we're working on getting on the
Yeah.
show. They said that was the best event they've ever done.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Like they
Good.
They
They
made
sold
the
a
most
bunch.
sales.
They made a bunch of money. So it's only going to build from here, and I can only imagine how well it would have done if it was a sunny day.
Definitely, yeah.
So
And like I said before, it was a huge confidence booster just for myself. Just the pride in the show and what we're doing for the community, with the community, and everything like that. I went, why do I just kind of, I always put everything under the microscope, and I
Sure.
always think it's not good enough. It's never good enough. But this time we were fucking good enough.
Yeah,
Like,
it was the best possible outcome from that day.
from the
You
situation.
know, everything that we did was exactly what we could have done. Everybody showed up, everybody contributed, and the only thing that fucked us was the weather, which
Yeah.
is the only thing that was out of our control. So next year we're just going to do it's going to be that weekend, and then our rain date's going to be the following weekend. And now we have the clout to say you need to commit to both Saturdays.
Right.
Yeah,
If you can't commit to both Saturdays, you need to be okay with the possibility that you're going to lose your deposit. And people will go, okay, because I know that this is a thing that worked.
I heard a couple people said that it was the most organized festival that they've been to too. And
which
I was
thought
like,
very funny.
Okay,
Mike, dude, seriously, Mike and Dana show up. Mike from Hudson Valley Tattoo Company, his wife Dana Antonio, she makes jewelry, and Mike was like, "You guys should do this every weekend." And I was like, "Do you see what's happening right now?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Seriously, do this every weekend, or like throughout the whole summer." So I think
if you only knew what it took.
Yeah, but I think he was saying every month, not every weekend.
Yeah.
But if we did it, the thing is, like I was saying, if we did 3 or 4 of these a year, it's not that. Aside from the day of's a ton of fucking work. So I'm not trying to downplay that. But as far as getting permits and insurance and stuff like that, as long as we had the money to back it up, it's not that much more work. You're going to one town council meeting for 5 events.
Yeah.
So I think that we could potentially build it into something much bigger, but I don't think that next year is going to be the year that we do that. It's going to be our first super successful year that we're going to do that. So, but we've been talking, like even just today, we had the idea of just doing a couple of fundraiser events just to kind of build up the
momentum for next year.
And the upfront costs are crazy.
Oh,
so,
sure.
And I have to say, like, I had the idea for this, but Ryan fronted all of his credit cards to make it fucking happen.
Not credit cards, it's savings.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he put up a lot of risk, and if we didn't hit that, I think we probably were like $1,800 or whatever.
I was more concerned with making, like, we were counting everything, and I'm like, please be over $1,000, please be over there. If it was anything less, I would have been like really upset because like if I wanted to recoup my money, but if I couldn't, then it was whatever.
Yeah.
But the fact that we made a fucking good chunk of change for this
on your
nonprofit
first one.
on our first one for a nonprofit that's very small.
Like we said from the beginning, it was like we'll be happy if we break even for the first year.
And we're not trying to toot our own horns. We're just trying to like kind of
No,
do
I'm
we did
fucking-
for you
I'm
guys.
so
We did a
excited
we
for
did
you
a really
guys.
good job, and everyone else is shitty for not starting a charity event. That's what I'm saying. You all suck, including the both of you, for not doing this as well.
That's fair. That's
I
fair.
have yet to make a ring for the veterans. So.
But next year.
Next year.
I went to a place where there was a girl petting her own dead dog and showing it to everybody. That's how fucking freaky that's how
very
freaky the
stupid.
flea market I had to go vend
Like
that was.
Rowdy from Scrubs.
She literally was just walking around petting her. I thought it was the dog was asleep. And then she came over and I saw it like limp in her arms.
So it was
It was no.
like a recently dead
No,
dog?
no. It was stuffed, but it was stuffed to be like a stuffed animal.
So was it like a non-rigid stuffed
It was
dog?
a non-rigid stuffed dog. Boy! And my first question was, can I pet it?
How did you keep this from me?
I know, I forgot to tell you about that part. She was really nice.
I've seen taxidermy dogs, but they're rigid, like,
this
stuffed
was
Rowdy from
stuffed.
Scrubs.
Like the bear,
okay?
like-
yeah, exactly.
This was like like they stuffed it like a toy.
Okay, you want
That's
to know?
some Hannibal
you know
Lecter
what?
shit.
No, that woman does not have mental problems. She's just going for the reaction,
That's
which
ex-
she
I
just got
actually-
from all of us. Do
she
not
wins.
plug her because she is a dumb bitch. She's just going for the reaction, and I get it. That's
Yeah.
fine. That's great marketing
Yeah.
on her part.
Yeah.
But that person is not the person that she was trying to portray.
That's true. I believe
Yeah.
you because she was walking around with it all day,
Yeah.
and she
Yeah,
had
it's
a
a
table
fucking
there.
gimmick.
Yeah, she
It's
was
a
doing it
fucking
as a
gimmick.
gimmick. It's really hard to fucking upplay all the people who look like Robert Smith from The Cure. Like it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
So I get it.
I mean, you have to stand out at an event like that.
Yeah.
So I don't fault her, but she does not deserve a plug.
I didn't say. I don't even know the
Yeah.
name of her fucking company to be
Okay,
honest.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. It's
Good.
all
Good.
white
Yeah.
noise.
Good.
So on so we're gonna put together something on June 9th. We're saying Dark Side Bazaar. You can check out Knitting is Metal. Mac will be there with 2 rings. One of them's on his hand. The other one's on Tony's hand.
If you are willing, if you are willing to do a booth for your rings, I will pay for the tent rental and the table.
Yes.
It's not that much money, but it's money that I don't really
Right.
need to spend on that.
I
But
hear
I
ya.
will do it for the comedy. So if you want to
blank
rent
table.
just for the Kaufman-esque comedy.
Yeah.
Of just, yes, I make rings. I've made this one and this one.
Well, also the problem is it is a bit of a custom order sort of situation. You know, picking the interior, the core, and sizing people.
You fucker! Don't play it like
So-
this. Just say you have the two rings.
That's okay.
I'm-
You just started
I'll
off.
have fun with it.
You just
I'll
started
have
off.
fun with it.
But like I said, I will get you a tent and a table if
All
you're
right.
willing to just be like, so I made all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so June 9th, we'll be there as well. We're going to be selling water for $1.
And then hold on, I have the one. I made all of this. Wait. I take
Yeah.
the second one off.
Oh, there's the other one.
Because that was the problem.
We're going to be selling water just to raise money for...
we got it donated, so might as well.
Yeah. Heroic food for next year.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We'll be taking donations for it too.
Absolutely.
As well. So, just come see us. Buy some shirts and shit. I guess nobody
we
ever.
got shirts.
I mean, we've always said nobody ever fucking buys shirts. We sold more shirts ever. We ever have. Sold 3 shirts
And a sweatshirt.
Hey.
That was one of the 3, but
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
But so we sold like $45 worth of shirts. That's more than we've ever fucking sold. So
Wild.
yeah, we're
Weird,
getting there.
wild stuff.
We're getting there.
So what do you think, guys? I think we're at the...
I think so. I gotta get home to that puppy.
Mm.
Gotta take her out.
We do have a puppy now.
We have a puppy.
I
Congratulations.
saw that.
Thank
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah.
How old?
She's 4 months.
4 months.
Do you love her or do you not quite love her?
I have my moments back and forth. Some mornings I
So
fucking can't stand her
3 to
face.
6 weeks from now, you're gonna want to drown her. And then
believe you.
when you hit the 12-month mark, you're still going to want to drown her.
Okay.
But maybe one of you is going to be on her side by then.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
I
where
think that
I'm at
sounds
right now.
Well, we
my
named
dog's
it-
a year old, and I fucking hate him. And I would have been fine with drowning him several months ago. But now I'm at the point where, like, let's see where this goes.
Mhm.
So that's a step in the right direction.
Holy
But
shit.
if Amy was like, let's drown him, I'd be like, I was there a month ago. I'm
Right.
fine with it.
We named her Ripley. That way I can just say, get off of that, you bitch.
That is a really great name.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Really great.
Yeah, it took me about 9 months to actually say I love my dog.
I love my dog.
took
I
a-
do love her. She's like she was one of those I fell in love with her when I saw her at the adoption event. But the mornings that she wakes me up at 4 a.m. to go take a piss, and then she was like, "Just kidding." I
Yeah.
kind of want to fucking kill her.
And then
does
she
that.
she
And then
came
she-
home and just went, Mac, I saw a puppy. Fucking less than 24 hours later, I was a dog owner.
Yep.
I'm just
Me too.
along for the ride.
That's what happened with me.
Whee!
Amy was like, let's foster a dog, and if it works out, we'll keep him. And then she came into the Crafted Cup at an event that I was hosting, and she goes, we're keeping him.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
That was, as I met the dog, it wasn't like, here's the dog. It was like, we're keeping him.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
no.
I did not have a choice in the matter.
Yeah.
Yep.
So-
Nor did
yeah.
I.
Yeah.
So,
We talked about it.
I will, after this dog, I will never adopt a dog that's less than 5 years old, ever.
I think that's wise.
Yeah.
mm.
Ever. Never again. Anyway.
Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Tk you.
Really
Thank you for
appreciate it.
having us.
We got
So,
we're
we got
gonna
a
do-
bunch. We got a bunch of good ones that are going to be new to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and listen.
We got a bunch of titles here. Adam's gonna read them off.
So we have
Go.
Indigo Go Girls.
Indiegogo Girls.
At least Mussolini got the trains to run on time. Which, I mean, that's definitely apologist.
Yeah.
So I don't think we should.
Let's go keep going.
We've got Zima Cabernet Spritzer,
That's kind of cute. I like that.
which kind of fits the episode.
Because I'm a fancy bitch.
My dog is named after a pedophile. This was like shorthand, and I don't know what it was.
Well, what does it say?
Skeleton Karate Kid.
It was
Oh yeah.
looking like
Dressed up as skeleton.
dressed up as a skeleton chasing the Karate Kid.
Yeah. Some giant mess.
And then we have Turgid Umbrage.
Okay.
I think we have a winner here, though.
And then Butt Sex with Fred Durst.
I was mad.
I'm between Turgid Umbrage and Butt Sex with Fred Durst.
What do you guys feel here?
I'm feeling Turgid Umbrage.
Turgid Umbrage?
I'm with Turgid Umbrage, too.
Tony, what do you
Because those
think?
are the two words that you know now.
I just don't want to think about butt sex with Fred Durst, so let's go with Turgid Umbrage.
All right, so how about we
hashtag
butt sex with Fred Durst?
Fair, fair.
Adam and I think a lot alike sometimes. Oh man, it was great. It was absolutely great having you guys on
Thank
again.
you.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
for
having us.
having us.
It's always a pleasure.
Always.
Proper plugs for everybody. Knitting is Metal. Tony has knittingismetal.com and at knittingismetal on Instagram. Mike's doing at Mike.
Just Mac
Mike
makes Mac.
Mike is at Mac Makes Rings on Instagram. I gotta
There you go.
I wrote down Mike and I just prefer to call you Mac. At Mac
So
Makes
does
Rings on
everyone else.
Instagram. And also Blurs and Nerds. Check them out. It's downloadable on iTunes
Hey, I
and all
appreciate
the.
that. I'm sure they all appreciate that. We'll have to have them.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have
Yeah,
never.
sure.
I mean, aside from Hudson Valley Transmitter, like we haven't done a lot of collabs with other podcasts.
Yeah.
So, I would love to do an episode with you guys.
Oh, I'm
on
sure
your
they would
show, and then you
absolutely love
guys
that.
do an episode on our show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, Darkside still hasn't invited us.
Sons of bitches.
Darkside Records has the worst podcast on the planet Earth. However, without them, I don't think Creator Fest could have happened
Again,
as well.
They're
Those
they're
motherfuckers.
They gave us fucking 9 tents because apparently people don't think if you're going to go to an event where we told you need a tent and then you're going to show up in the rain that they just expect to have a fucking tent there that we're going to give them.
All 9 were used.
Yeah, they gave us 9 tents. We used every single one of them
Holy
because
shit.
we were just like, "Hey, so you have a tent for us to use? It's fucking raining. What did you fucking think?"
Yeah.
Especially when I said in the vendor packet
Yeah, it
and
said
in
to
the
get
email,
one.
all vendors are required to provide their own tent and table.
Yep.
How did you not get
I
that?
read the
You
fucking
weren't
documents.
like serious about that, were you guys?
I read the
There
documents.
would have been seriously. It would have been 7 people. 7 people.
Standing in the
who'd just
fucking
been like,
rain.
so do you?
Yeah, they would have had
They
ponchos
would
on.
they would just had to leave. They would just had to leave. So next year we're gonna be charging you a fucking fee.
Yeah.
Smart.
Because
And
of
then, like,
all the work that we had, like, so it was raining, right? So
Yeah.
the tents are soaked. We move them inside so they don't get stolen. They're still soaked inside, so we move them outside the next day because it's only a 20% chance of rain. I turn around, I set them all up. They're drying. I go to work. Adam's gonna get off at 4, take them down, bring them back to Darkside.
2 minutes into his shift, it's like it's raining, Bosh.
So they get soaked again. So we move them back inside again,
And we
then
put them on the lift, and then we get a milk delivery today, and Julia had to move them all off the lift, put the fucking milk delivery upstairs, then move them back onto the lift. Then I came in today, moved them off the lift, put them back outside in the sunny fucking day, and then Ryan had to break them all down and bring them back to Darkside. So we're talking 4 hours,
So
4 to
if-
5 hours of fucking work.
So if you need to rent a tent, if you're gonna, I need to rent a tent ahead of time. It's probably gonna be like $25. If you come to the day, it's gonna be $2,000 to rent a tent on the day. You fucks, all of you, you fucks, and you know who you are.
Yeah, yeah.
One of them might be listening right now.
Probably one.
But yeah, without
yeah.
Darkside, and also a big shout out to Prime Print Shop in Poughkeepsie as well for all the signage. Adams.
Also, I'll give you some stuff because banners. He did all our banners, super cheap, really
Nice.
well done. So if
Awesome.
you're going to be doing a lot of these shows, a banner helps. Makes
Definitely.
you look very professional.
Also, Nature's Pantry and Adams Fairacre Farms for their generous donations, and also my mom and my wife for just jumping in, offering to help, and really knocking it out of the park.
Yeah, and all the volunteers, Amy,
all the
Chris,
volunteers.
I feel bad for Lavina volunteered.
Is it Lavina or Lavina?
Lavina.
Oh,
It's Lavina.
fuck! I've
You've been
calling
saying it wrong
and
forever.
she just lets me fucking
Yeah.
call her that.
I don't.
God damn it!
I don't know if you've noticed this, but on my way upstairs, your wife matches your curtains.
Yes, that's one of her.
She is-
That's well.
The
That's
sheets
that's
match the curtains. Is that
She's,
the-
she's wearing.
That's a callback. That's
She's
a
wearing
callback
a
to a very
teal.
old episode.
She's wearing a teal outfit, and
No, we said the
Your
drapes
curtain.
match the curtains,
Yeah.
and drapes or curtains are the same thing.
Yeah.
She
That was
likes
what it was.
purple and teal. Those
Yeah.
are her favorite colors. Christ, I know
But
I'm
yeah,
missing
so
people. Jim's another
Amy,
volunteer.
Chris, Jim,
Amy, of course.
Andy Reid,
Jess, and Karina.
Jess, Karina, their baby.
Yeah,
he didn't really help very much, but he was there.
And of course, the reason why we did it, heroic food. Jasmine and Ryan, Jasmine Vasquez and Ryan O'Sullivan doing an amazing thing. They gave us little stars from what are they? Old American flags. They take out these stars and they hand them out to people who have done service for things like this. Like if you do charity events or you're helpful to the veterans community,
That's
they give you
awesome.
these stars as like a badge of honor type thing. It's
Very
going
cool.
right on my patch jacket. I'm super excited.
I didn't
about
get
that.
one. I want one.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't get one.
Oh fuck! You gotta ask Jazz. She probably just forgot to give it to you. She had a fucking bag of them. She could spare one or two.
Yeah. So just big thanks to everybody, and especially you guys. Like, I know you couldn't make it, but I mean, seriously, you raised 10% of what we raised that day.
Oh, it's
so,
no problem.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed
For
doing
sure.
it.
Yeah, for sure.
Until I got to listen to the
You
rest
did
of this
not
fucking
enjoy
album.
doing it at
No,
all.
I enjoyed taking the money.
I
didn't enjoy doing the other
the
part.
idea of it, and I felt
Yeah.
really good about myself.
Yeah.
And then I just
Now
spent
I
the
gotta
last
pay out.
hour going, I really regret doing all of this.
Just Trek 7,
So you
fucking
got
piece
what,
of
another hour left?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
she will listen to that. Don't worry.
No, I'm going to do it. I said I would.
You should just do it like live on YouTube or like Twitch or something
I should.
like that.
I should, yeah.
Just
oh,
sit
you could
there
do
and
you could
knit.
do Instagram, I think.
I
Just
can,
do a
yeah,
live
do
stream.
Instagram. Actually, I was doing that before
Yeah.
when we were on. JB was like,
Yeah.
they're not talking about anything good. Don't worry about it.
Motherfucker. All right. Okay, so next week, what do we got? Anything?
I don't
anything good?
remember.
All right. Whatever.
No. What's today's date?
The
I'm wearing a different
14th.
watch.
This is the 21st.
Midway.
Ooh,
Try number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully nobody gets mono, because their last chance.
Yep.
The Midway played at Hudson Valley Creator Fest. Jack, the drummer now, I guess.
Drummer / guitarist /
Yeah.
just fucking guy.
Yeah. So
basically keeps that band.
He's graduating, so the band's going to kind of break up, but not on bad terms, just
Sure.
because of he's graduating. So this will be their last performance as a band ever.
Wow.
And yeah, Vanessa and Jack is everyone's favorite at the craft.
Yeah,
Fest. They're wonderful. people.
They're a power couple.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So, all right. Until next week, kids. Thank you very much, Tony. Mac.
Bye.
Always a pleasure.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Guten Tag.
DragCon 2018.